What do I smell?
Huh?
Something smells. What is it?
Is it shoe polish?
No, it's stronger.
Is it cleaning fluid?
Mm-mm.
Is it me?
It's you, Gomer.
It's just this little bag of camphor balls.
Camphor balls?
Uh-huh. It's supposed to be good for a cold, and I'm coming down.
Well, I don't know if it's good for a cold, but it ought to be good for keeping the moths off your chest.
Congratulations, men. Do you see this? Once again, I have not been named Sergeant of the Week. Sergeant Porter got it this week. I think Sergeant Zaleski got it the week before that, and the week before that it was Sergeant Tully. But have I been named Sergeant of the Week? No. And do you know why I never make it? I'll tell you why. In order to be named Sergeant of the Week, I have to have the cooperation of my men. And I have not been getting that cooperation. Now, there are two ways I can get that. I can ask you all to please, please cooperate. That's one. And two, I can get on your backs and ride the tar out of you. Now, let's see. Let's try that second way first, shall we? All right, everybody on the road. We're gonna double time it around the entire base.
Sergeant,
You heard me, Pyle, on the road.
could I please be excused from that there run?
Be excused, is that what you said?
Yes, sir. On account I think I'm coming down.
You're coming down? From where?
He's got a cold, Sergeant.
Rescue, get out of here.
That's right, Sergeant. I got a cold. I've been sniffing at these camphor balls. Don't seem to do no good. And I feel kind of heady. There's no two ways about it. I'm coming down.
Well, I've got a wonderful remedy for you. Just fill your mouth with water, then sit on a stove, and when the water boils, your cold will be gone. All right, Pyle, get out on the road and start running.
Sergeant, I really don't feel too good. If I could just...
I'm gonna sweat that cold out of you, Pyle. In fact, I might let you do a few extra laps. Fall in. Lay up, hey up, double tap, hey up. You all like the little trot you just had? Well, it's only the beginning, folks. I'm gonna get through to you people that I mean business till I am made Sergeant of the Week. I'm gonna stay on your backs until I get the kind of cooperation I want. Did you do your 2 extra laps?
I did, Sergeant. I really feel bad. Can I go sick bay?
Okay, Pyle. You can go to sick bay. But you hear me good. You better really have something. You better really be sick.
Easy does it now. There you go.
Throat's red, quite irritated. You've got yourself a good old-fashioned cold.
Felt myself coming down. I just knew it.
May I have some water, please? Here. Take one of these pills.
Is that one of them anti-pills?
Antihistamine.
That's it. You know about that, do you?
Yes, I know about that. It'll probably make you drowsy for about 24 hours. She'll be all right tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Now go back to your barracks. Tell your sergeant I want you to get into your bunk and take the rest of the day off.
Yes, sir. And may I say, sir, I think you, Doctor, almost as good as Doc Crenshaw back home.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
You can go now.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I hope we meet again sometimes under happier circumstances. Bye, ma'am.
What do you think you're doing?
Getting into my bunk, Sergeant.
Why?
Doctor's orders. I'm sick.
Oh, really? What have you got?
Well, it's kind of a washed-out feeling. Bad cold's what it is.
Pyle, do you think I was born yesterday? I've seen this act 1,000 times. Get out of that bunk.
I can't, Sergeant. I just can't. Doctor told me to stay in my bunk till tomorrow. Said to tell you.
Oh, really? Well, isn't that convenient? You'll just happen to miss out on this afternoon's drill and this evening's hike.
Well, I sure am sorry about that, but you wouldn't want me to go against the doctor's orders, would you?
Oh, no. And just to make sure you didn't misunderstand the doctor, I'm gonna call him up myself and find out. You know what I mean, Pyle?
Sick bay. Who? Gomer Pyle's platoon sergeant?
Yes, ma'am. Can I speak to the doctor who examined Pyle?
Well, Lieutenant Ames had to step outside for a few minutes. If you don't mind waiting, you can hold on. Fine. He shouldn't be too long.
What do you think, Doc?
Not a chance, Billy. He's had it. Well, maybe if I'd seen him earlier, who knows, I might have been able to help him. Not now.
Well, I thought I'd get your advice before I took him to the vet.
Believe me, at this stage, a vet is a waste of time. Who takes care of the old boy here on the base?
One of the sergeants down at the stable. He's devoted to this horse. He's gonna feel real bad.
Yeah, and not much I can tell a sergeant, but put him out in the fields and let him enjoy his last days.
Oh, yes. Lieutenant Ames is looking at the horse right now. Well, if you'd like to hold on, he should be in very soon. Fine. Just hold the wire.
All right. Let's have a look at that arm.
Oh, Lieutenant, you have two calls. The one on the right wants to know about the horse, and the one on the left wants to know about a Private Gomer Pyle.
Thank you. Prepare him for X-ray.
Yes, sir.
Which call was which?
The one on the right is about the horse.
Hello. It's Lieutenant Ames speaking.
Hello, sir. This is Sergeant Carter. I was wondering if you could give me any information on your examination.
Well, Sergeant, I guess the best way to put it is bluntly. He's on his way out.
Sir?
I'm sorry, Sergeant, but he's had it.
Really, sir? Are you sure?
Well, it happens to all of us sooner or later.
Well, I know, but...
Somebody's been riding him too hard. After all, when you have somebody on your back every day, sooner or later, the wear and tear shows.
And there's nothing you can do?
I'm afraid not, Sergeant. Maybe if I'd seen him sooner. I don't know. Hello, this is Lieutenant Ames speaking. Hello? Hello? Guess he couldn't wait.
And he thinks he has a cold. Pyle. Pyle. Pyle.
Hi, Sergeant.
How do you feel, boy?
Gee, Sergeant, I feel just like I came back from the dead.
Don't say that. You just gotta rest, boy, that's all. You just have to get your rest.
But I gotta get out of bed. I gotta help make you Sergeant of the Week.
Oh, who cares about Sergeant of the Week? I know I got the best private... No. The best man on the entire base in my platoon.
Who's that?
You, Pyle.
Golly. Thanks, Sergeant.
I wish I had a lot of men like you, Pyle. I know I pick on you more than I do the other fellows, but that's to keep them on the ball. You see that, don't you, boy? Huh?
Well, I'll be. Now I know why you was always on my back.
Please, Pyle.
Don't worry, though, Sergeant. If it helps the outfit, you ride me all you want to.
Who's calling, please? Sergeant Carter? Well, just a minute. I'll see if the lieutenant is in. It's Sergeant Carter, sir.
Carter? Oh, the animal lover. I've heard of cases of man's devotion to dumb animals, but this one outdoes Tarzan and Cheetah. Lieutenant Ames speaking.
Sir, I know that you said nothing could be done for him, but can anything be done for him? I mean, can't something be done for him?
Look, Sergeant, I told you this morning he's just beyond treatment.
I know, but, well, what are we gonna do? Just let him fade out?
All you can do is try and make him comfortable.
Yes, sir. But if there were any suggestions you had on, well, how we could make him more comfortable. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I'll write it down.
You might give him an apple or a piece of sugar.
Apple or a piece of sugar. Yes, sir. I got it. Sorry, sir. I didn't quite get that. Yes, sir. I got a brush. Brushing. Right. Did you say flies, sir? You did. Keep the flies off him? Yes, sir. Anything else, sir?
That's about it, Sergeant. Just make sure he rests as much as possible.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. An apple, a piece of sugar, brush him, keep the flies off him.
What did you say, Sergeant? Something the matter? Golly, you look awful. I think you ought to be in this bed instead of me.
No. I'm all right.
I feel fine, Sergeant. I want to get up and do some work.
No. You gotta follow doctor's orders, Pyle.
I suppose the doctor means well. But did I ever tell you about my cousin Piedmont? Well, he had a cold and they put him to bed. Well, he was laying there one day and all of a sudden he went just like that.
He went just like that?
Mm-hmm. He always went like that when he had an idea. And this time his idea was to get up out of that bed and go to work. And sure enough, he felt all better.
Look, Pyle, I'm here to keep you comfortable. So as a favor to me, will you please stay in bed?
Well, okay, Sergeant. But just 'cause it's a personal favor to you, though, I wouldn't do this for nobody else.
Won't be any next time. That's all there is to it. We got this.
All right, you guys, knock off the noise. Knock it off. Can't you see we got a sick man here? Here, Pyle. That'll be good for you.
Sergeant, thank you. It's just what I wanted. You know what they say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Yeah. That's what they say.
Sure is juicy. Won't you have some?
No, Pyle, you finish it. That'll keep the flies from bothering you.
Sir, that's real swell of you, sir.
Oh, another thing, Pyle, you don't have to call me sir anymore.
I know that was only in boot camp. I can just call you Sergeant.
Well, I mean, you can call me Vince.
Shazam.
After all, we're in the same outfit and all.
Gosh, I don't know where I can get used to calling you Vince.
We'll try, okay?
Okay. Vince. But you gotta call me Gomer.
Okay, Gomer.
Boy, being sick can kind of be fun when you got a good buddy to take care of you. Right, Vince?
Right, Pyle.
Gomer.
Gomer. Sit up a little, Gomer. The doctor said this might make you more comfortable. Well, you just take it easy, Gomer. Maybe read a magazine or listen to the radio. Just relax. All right, I guess you guys are wondering what's going on, why I was doing all those things for Pyle. So I'll give it to you straight. He's a lot sicker than I thought he was. An awful lot sicker.
What's wrong with him, Sarge?
The doctor didn't say. All he said was there was no hope for him.
On the level?
According to the doctor, he hasn't got very long to go. Could be any day now.
There's nothing we can do? Nothing?
Nothing. Except keep him comfortable and make his last days as happy as we can.
Sarge, is he in any pain?
You know, Pyle. Would he say anything if he was? He's probably in torture this very minute. Someone hear him. Everybody outside. How come it up? Don't nobody go back in there. You saw he's got the convulsions. Take a walk. Go to the PX, but stay out of there. I gotta speak to Lieutenant Ames right away.
Well, what seems to be the matter?
Excuse me, sir. You Lieutenant Ames?
Yes, Sergeant. Why? What seems to be the trouble?
Well, sir, I'm Sergeant Carter. Remember me? I spoke to you?
Yes. Why the panic? Anything wrong?
Well, sir, I know there's no hope, but I gotta do something. He's got the convulsions.
I didn't think it'd be this soon. Usually convulsions means the end is near at hand.
Oh, no.
I know how you feel, Sergeant. You have my deepest sympathies.
What a terrible way to go.
Yes. I've seen it many times.
Sir, what if we brought him here to the hospital? Couldn't we do that, sir?
Oh, come on, Sergeant. Maybe I have something here that'll help you. I should have one or two left. Here. Give him this pill. It may relieve some of the pain.
Give him this?
Yes, just pop it in his mouth.
How can a man swallow a pill this size?
A man can't, but a horse can. Just give him that pill. It may make his last days a little easier. Now, been quite a lucky horse at that.
A horse?
He's left a proud record. Years of faithful service to the Corps.
A horse?
Guadalcanal, Saipan, Iwo Jima, Korea. Animals like yours, Sergeant, are true heroes in every respect.
A horse?
One of our noblest creatures.
A horse?
Yes, Sergeant. A horse.
Excuse me, sir. Do you remember examining a Private Gomer Pyle the other day?
Gomer Pyle. Oh, yes. He had a cold virus. I told him to spend the day in his bunk. Why?
I mean, there wasn't anything serious?
A cold. Is that serious?
No, sir. Thank you, sir. A horse. It's for a horse.
How you been, so buddy? Where's everybody been? Hey, they're giving the weather report. There's a mass of cold air coming down from Canada. Night and early morning low clouds. It's a high today of 82. And did you know that the market opened steady?
All right, Pyle.
Sergeant Carter, Captain Brinson wants to see you
Right now?
right now.
All right, Pyle. You stay right where you are. Don't move an inch. I'll be right back. I got something I want to say to you.
Oh, you just take your time, good buddy. I'll wait for you.
Right over here, Sergeant. Yeah. All right, now smile.
Congratulations, Sergeant Carter. Sergeant of the Week.
Huh?
I'll read you the official citation. Sergeant Vincent Carter, Sergeant of the Week. Most highly recommended by Lieutenant C.F. Ames, medical officer, for his compassion, understanding, and deep regard for a dumb animal. Sergeant Carter sets an example worthy of the finest traditions of the Marine Corps. A leader whose exemplary behavior inspires both love and respect. Congratulations.
And a boy, Sergeant.
Hey, Vince, old buddy. What was it you wanted to say to me?
Nothing. I just wanted to say, hey, Gomer.
Well, hey, Vince.
Hey,
Bless you.
thank you.
Well, bless you again. Vince, you know what I think, old buddy? I think you got my cold. Hey, Sergeant Carter?
Yeah.
Hey, Sergeant, they told me you was feeling poorly. Are you coming down?
It's just a little cold. I was just taking a little nap and then back to work. In fact, I was just about to get up.
Oh, don't do that. You got to stay in bed.
No, it's all right. I'll be all right.
Now, you stay right where you are. You're sick.
Look, I've got some work I got
And you know what else? I'm here to make you comfortable. See? I brought you an apple, a piece of sugar. I ain't gonna let them flies get at you. She's fly.
Look, Pyle, you
You
don't
know
have...
what else? I'm gonna take care of you just like you done for me, good buddy.
Pyle.
Gomer, call me Gomer. Oh. 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 That's sweet. That's really nice.
Okay, Gomer. Who's the letter from?
Huh?
Who's the letter from? Blonde, brunette, or redhead?
Gray.
What?
It's from my grandpa.
Grandpa?
Grandpa Pyle. My grandpa on my daddy's side. And you know what? He's coming here in his trailer and everything just to see me. You see, he travels around in a trailer. Listen to this. When I stopped at Mayberry, they said my favorite fishing partner was in the Marines. Fishing wasn't the same. I couldn't look a worm in the face without thinking of you. Ha ha.
You and your grandpa are really close, huh?
Closer than two front teeth. Grandpa and me, we done a lot of hunting and fishing and talking together. I learned a lot from Grandpa. He knows just about everything there is to know. And you know something else? He was a cavalry sergeant in World War #1.
Cavalry sergeant, huh?
In the U.S. Army. Listen to this. So you joined the Marine Corps. I thought I learned you better. Ha ha. The Doughboys used to have a joke about the Marines, but I won't tell it to you as your mama wouldn't like me to. Anyway.
All right, men. Fall into the rear of the barracks on the double.
Hey, Sergeant, I just got me a letter from my grandpa.
Swell.
He's coming here to visit.
Good.
Bless his heart.
Pile fall in.
Yes.
At ease. All right. Listen up. Battalion headquarters has decided that we should find out if any of you are potential non-com or officer material. If they just asked me, I could have told them. But they decided that you should have a chance to lead this squad, to see if you can take over my job. So for the next few days, that will be our project. Each man will get a chance to lead this squad in close order drill, and I will be observing. We'll proceed alphabetically. Abrams, we'll start with you. Squad, eight, hut! Abrams, front and center.
Nice feller, Abrams. He writes home regular, but he ain't no Sergeant Carter.
Quiet the ranks. Take charge of the squad. Right, height. Forward, halt. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the right flank, halt. On the right flank, halt. On the right flank, halt. 1, halt. Not bad, Abrams. Not bad at all. Fall in. Next man, Bronson. Front and center.
He ain't no Sergeant Carter neither.
Quiet in the ranks.
Hey, Sergeant, can I see you a minute?
What do you want, Pyle?
Well, sir, I'd like to talk to you about my turn at leading the squad.
What's to talk about? I told you it was alphabetical. You get your turn when the P's come up. What's your hurry? Get back to your quarters.
No, Sergeant, that ain't it at all.
What is it, then?
Well, I just soon not have a turn.
Huh?
I just soon not have a turn at leading the squad.
Just like that, you just soon not have a turn.
Well, it ain't that I don't want to do it. I do, but I'm afraid I'll disappoint you, and then I'll feel just awful.
Will you really?
So even though I do want to do it, I don't think I should do it, because the way I do it, I'm sure to be doing it the way you don't want it done.
What?
I said that even though I do want to do it.
Never mind. Pyle, we are talking about a battalion order, not ladies' choice at a dancing academy. Every man in this platoon will, repeat, will, drill his squad in close order drill. You are in this platoon. You will take your turn when it comes up.
Well, I'd like to, Sergeant, but I just...
Pyle, do you know the reason for this program? It's to train you to take over. Now, what if something happened to me in combat? Who would take over?
Golly, Sergeant, if something happened to you, I just wouldn't want to go on.
Now, isn't that touching?
See, Sergeant, the reason that I'm begging off is, well, I just don't think I got them qualities of leadership. Now, followership, that's something else. I follow real good.
That's enough. You'll take your turn in this new program just like everybody else.
Yes, Sergeant. I sure follow better than I lead. Even when we used to go hunting, I don't think I...
Katie, you're the only girl that I adore. When I'm a moonshine. Come in.
Hey, Grandpa, guess who?
Gomer!
Come in here, boy. Come in here, boy. Come in here. Good night, our life. Oh, Lord. Let me take a look at you. Let me take a look at you. Still growing. You 6 foot?
Uh-huh.
You look 6 foot. Hey, what you got in there? A anvil?
Well, you know what to say, Grandpa. The Marine Corps bills men.
You got a weekend pass, ain't you?
Yep, I got the whole weekend.
Good. You sure growed up nice and tall.
I'm 6 foot.
You look 6 foot. Hey, Gomer, got a present for you. Right over there on the couch. That's for you.
Oh. Sweet dreams from the Grand Canyon. Ain't that pretty? Oh, and it's got a picture of it, too.
Yeah, I was there a couple of weeks ago. That's a big ditch, son.
Sure is pretty, Grandpa. Thank you. It's real thoughtful of you.
Oh, it ain't nothing. Let's settle down. Get to talking about that there Marine Corps you in. How you getting along?
Well, tolerable, just tolerable. Today wasn't a very good day.
Why? What happened?
Well, we got this new program where each man gets to close order drill the squad. What they're doing is they're looking out for fellers that could take over in case they had to.
Good, good. What's the problem?
Well, I ain't got no leadership to display.
What?
True, Grandpa.
For goodness sakes. Gomer, the Pyles has been known as leaders for generations.
Well, not me. I just couldn't get out there in front of all them men and pretend I'm the sergeant.
Tell me one thing. Would you like to be able to do it?
Sure. I'd like to more than anything. But I know I can't. I just ain't got the beller for it.
Gomer, stop talking like that. It ain't befitting a Pyle. I'll show you how to beller out them orders.
Grandpa, I don't know. I just can't start
Son,
doing...
it's easy. You gotta make it come from down here. Now listen. Prepare to mount. Now. Come on, get up, try it. Get up now and try it. Go on.
Prepare to mount. Mount.
Little lower now. Little lower. Draw sabers.
Draw sabers.
Little lower. Little lower. Bugler, blow, charge.
Bugler, blow, charge. See, don't that sound just awful?
No, it don't. It's just that, well, you need a little practice before you can practice. Tell you what, we'll work on it over the weekend. I'll get you some people to drill with.
Who would you get?
Why, I'll get well, I don't know, but I'll get you some people now. You can do it, son. Oh, you can too, a big boy like you, 6 foot. You're 6 foot, ain't you?
Uh-huh.
You look 6 foot.
Grandpa, I don't know about this.
Go on, boy. You can do it. Try it. Go on. They're waiting for you. Put them through their paces.
Squad, attention. That means attention. Y'all all got to stand up straight. Left, face. No. Everybody's got to turn this way. That's right. Forward, march. No, that means y'all all got to move out in that direction. That way. Come in here. Everybody, come back over here. Everybody get back over here and stand here.
You know what's the matter? You're too easy on them. Now, them troops you're going to drill are just like these kids here. You got to show them who's boss. Watch. All right, straighten up them ranks there. You down there, get that smile off your face. Suck in your stomach. Stand up straight. I'm talking to you. Pay attention to me. You hear me? Hey, come back here. Come on back here.
You bellered so loud, Grandpa, you scared the troops clean off.
Well, at least they know they've been bellered at. And you can do it too, boy.
I'll sure try, Grandpa.
You can do it too. You're a big boy. You're 6 foot, ain't you?
Uh-huh.
You look 6 foot. Better get back in the trailer.
Forward, catch, forward, help, hold your Lil, hey, Lil, left flag, to the right flag, left go blip, forward,
Golly, Duke. You sure can beller. I wish I could do that, but I know I messed it up.
You gotta stop worrying about it, kid.
All right, all out, close order drill. That means you too, Pyle. Especially you.
Come on, Gomer, you can do it. Come on.
one, two, right, hey.
Oliver, that was good. That was real good. Of course, you ain't me, but then who is? All in.
At ease.
Now, let's see who we're down to. Pyle.
Front and center.
Take charge of the squad.
Hey, fellers. Forward. March. Ain't moving.
They're still at ease.
Oh, I forgot. Squad. Attention. Right face. Right face. Right face. Right face. At ease.
Pyle, march 'em. Drill 'em.
Squad. Attention. Right face. Forward. March. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the rear march. To the rear march. To the rear march. Rear march. To the rear march. To the rear march. To the rear march. To the rear march.
Give 'em something else.
Right flank. March. Wait, whoa. Stop. Oh. Let's face it, Grandpa. There's no two ways about it. I'm just a failure as a leader.
Now, you stop saying that. You ain't a failure. You're a good, strong boy. You got a good head on your shoulders. You're 6 foot. It's just one thing that you don't have. One little thing. And that's confidence. And now, son, there's where I can help you.
I don't know, Grandpa. If you don't have confidence, nobody can give it to you.
Well, I don't know about that. Gomer, we ain't licked yet. All you need is confidence. Confidence. Yes, sir, my boy, with a little confidence, you can do anything. Anything. And this is going to give it to you.
What's that? Excelsior.
That's right. Excelsior means high, up. Gomer, would it surprise you to know that that was the emblem of my daddy's regiment in the Spanish-American War?
No.
Rode up San Juan Hill attached to your great-grandpa's saddle, right alongside of Colonel Teddy.
This here emblem?
That there emblem.
Shazam. Great-granddaddy Pyle was a brave man, wasn't he?
Brave leader. Gomer, you know, when I first went into World War I never had a dime's worth of confidence. I was just as scared as you are.
Oh, that couldn't be, Grandpa.
Oh, yes. Until my daddy gave me this. He said, as long as you have that, you'll be a leader. And I carried it, and I was. That little emblem right there.
You mean it's magical like?
Well, that's one way to describe it. Just put it in your pocket. Now, recollect, son, that ain't no ordinary piece of metal you got there. When that was attached to your great-grandpa's saddle, he was fighting his way up San Juan Hill, yard by yard, fighting like a man inspired. Colonel Teddy turned to him. He says, Pyle, you're fighting like a man inspired. That's what he said. Bullets was a-flying every which way. Men was turning back, but not your great-grandpa. And when the smoke of battle cleared, there he was, planting Old Glory smack on top of San Juan Hill. And that little emblem you got in your pocket was with him every step of the way. Now, can you tell me that having that emblem don't make you feel no difference? Don't you feel about 10 foot tall?
I do, Grandpa. I declare I do.
You look 10 foot. Try a couple of commands.
Squad to hut. Right. Hey, did you hear that, Grandpa?
I sure did, boy. You know, with that in your pocket, when you get out there to drill them troops, you'll make that Sergeant Carter look like a recruit.
Right.
What's the matter, son?
Just happened to think, Grandpa, you only get one chance at leading a squad, and I've already had mine.
Well, don't you worry. You'll get a second chance.
But how?
Well, I don't know, but things has a way of happening to folks that has that emblem.
How?
Yes, sir.
Come in. Come in, sir. What can I do for you?
I'd like to talk to you, Sergeant.
Yes, sir. Let me get you a chair.
No need to get a chair. I'll just stand.
Well, I just thought you'd be more comfortable.
The only time I'm more comfortable sitting down, Sergeant, is on a horse. You can sit down if you're tired.
No, I'm not tired.
You spend quite a lot of time behind the desk, don't you, Sergeant?
Not any more than most. I mean...
You know, it's funny. You're shorter than I figured you'd be. How tall are you?
Huh?
You 6 foot?
No, I'm...
You don't look 6 foot. Of course, you make up for it by being bigger around the waist.
I always keep myself in perfect physical condition.
In my days, sergeants was tough as hardtack. Of course, you're in pretty good shape. For the shape you're in.
Look, would you mind telling me what you want to talk to me about? And I didn't get the name.
Pyle. Sergeant Otis Pyle. U.S. Cavalry, retired.
Pyle? You mean...
Gomer's grandpa, that's right. You know, the reason I come over to talk to you, Sergeant, after hearing Gomer talk, I decided you was the brightest non-com around. And now that I've met you, I'm sure of it.
Huh?
The way you keep them young fellers from having a chance to take over is a work of genius.
What? Now, wait a minute. I give him a chance. Right now, we're conducting leadership tests.
Oh, gosh.
What?
You see, old Army game, you give 'em one chance. And if you see they're beginning to catch on, you slam the door. Huh? Is that it?
Beginning to catch... Look, that grandson of yours, he had his chance, and you know what he did? He blew it.
Of course he did. And not giving him a second chance is a smart way to play it.
Now, just a minute.
You might be a little soft around the middle, but not up where it counts.
Your grandson will get a second chance. Tomorrow is an inspection day. The men will have their rifles. He will really get a chance. And it will be a pleasure to see what he does with it. A real pleasure. And it will also be a pleasure to have you as my personal guest, Mr. Pyle.
Sergeant Pyle, U.S. Cavalry, retired.
Pyle, front and center. All right, Private. They're all yours.
What? Hut. Right. Hey. Hey, wait.
To the rear, hard. One, ho! Forward, hard. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, push. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the right flank, push. On the left flank, push. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Gosh, Grandpa, I can't thank you enough for all you done for me.
I just done what one good soldier would do for another.
Well, I don't know. If you hadn't brought great-granddaddy's good luck piece for me, it sure done the trick.
You think that emblem was what done it, huh?
Of course it was, Grandpa.
Well, I don't know about that. Come over here, Gomer. Let me have it.
Ain't you gonna let me carry it in my pocket no more?
Yeah, he won't be needing it no more. Let's put it back where it belongs.
Shazam!
That's right. Now that you know what you can do, you won't be lacking confidence no more.
Then it wasn't great-granddaddy's emblem that made me do it at all.
No, and it wasn't some dinkus off a refrigerator door, neither. Just recollect, son. It ain't what you got in your pocket that counts. It's what you got in there.
Shazam! Hey, Dee, looky here. It's a letter from Grandpa.
Good.
You won't read it?
No.
Then I'll read it to you. Dear grandson, it was sure good to visit you at the Marine Corps base. I am glad I got to meet your sergeant. Always remember, boy, there is one man who will always stand behind you no matter what, and who will help you with your problems no matter how big or small. And that man is me, your grandpa. As for your fat-headed sergeant, just follow his loudmouth orders and you will be all right. I hope to come back in a few weeks and see how you are doing. Hey, Sergeant. Letter from Grandpa. You want to read it?
1 week on board ship and you slowed down to a crawl. Probably the trouble is you missed them nice long hikes we used to take. You know, them nice long walks in the country. Look at that. What are you, gaining weight?
Well, this Navy food sure is good, Sergeant. They must use different spices, like that lamb we had last night.
Pyle, when are you going to learn not to talk in ranks?
I'm sorry, Sergeant. I thought you asked me a question.
I did not ask a question. And if I do ask a question, I do not want you to answer it. You understand?
Well, is that a question? If it is, the answer is yes. If it's...
Knock it off! Now hear this and hear it good. We are Marines on a Navy ship. From now on, we're going to shape up and look and act like Marines. And to start getting you guys back in condition, we're going to have a daily program of good, strong exercise. That's right, to get rid of the fat and the sluggishness. So, when you're dismissed here, you will suit up in sweatsuits and report to me in the gym in 5 minutes. Now, Pyle, what do you think you're doing?
I got something in my eye, Sergeant.
So you got something in your eye. All right.
Well, it hurts, Sergeant.
Well, pull the upper lid over the lower lid and just wipe it out. Now, I'm going to start an athletic program that will get each one of you men squared away. I want it...
That don't work, Sergeant.
What?
Pulling the upper lid over the lower lid.
All right. Take... Hut! Hair smashed! All right, Pyle, let me look at it. All right, come around to the light.
You know I can see my reflection right in your eye.
Swell. Here, blow your nose.
What?
Blow your nose.
Well, what's this? What's this? You see that, boys? They blow their noses for 'em. Isn't that nice? Say, Sarge, Do you tie their shoes for him, too?
Why, he never. We tie our own.
Pyle.
Oh, you tie your own shoes. They have to tie their own shoes.
But he does do a lot of other nice things for us.
Yeah, like what?
Well, like once when we was on a hike, I turned my ankle, and he carried me all the way home in his arms. Remember, Sergeant?
Is that right?
He sure did, just like I was a baby. Didn't you, Sergeant?
Gee, the next thing you know, he'll be saying he tucked you in bed, too.
Well, as a matter of fact, one time when I had the flu...
Dismiss, Pyle.
Well, it was a kind of human thing to do, Sergeant.
Dismiss, Pyle. Dismiss. Dismiss.
Yes, sir.
Gee, tucked him in bed. Isn't that precious? Tucked him in bed!
Okay, next. Pile and body. Come on, mix it up. Well, come on, mix it up, mix it up. Come on, Pyle, go to the body, the body. This looks like a waltz contest. Give me them gloves. Sure, Sergeant.
You can have mine too, Sergeant.
No, you keep yours on. I want to show you something. You guys are dancing around like you never saw a fight or a pair of gloves in your whole life. All right, come on, get over there. All right. Now, first, I want to show you how to throw a jab. You stand like this, see? Your chin behind your shoulder, and you shoot that left out, like that. Like this, see? Jab! Jab!
Boy, it sure is slick, Sergeant. Well, hey there, Chief.
All right, now, you got that? Your shoulder high. Jab! Jab!
Boy, that's slick.
Well, am I doing it right?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, Sergeant, not quite.
You think you can do it better?
Yeah, I think so. Hey, give me a left glove, will you, Private? Now, you see, Sergeant, here, your foot position is okay, but when you throw your jab, you got your left elbow up too high. See, that's okay for a hook. But for a jab, no. Jab, you cock your arm back like this and shoot out like a piston. See?
Shazam! That sure is neat, Chief.
Well, it's no different than the way I throw it. Look.
Golly, Sergeant, that's real neat, too.
Come on, Sergeant, let him settle it. Which one of those two punches was the best, Private?
Golly, Chief, it's kind of hard to say. They was both just as nice as could be.
Wow, mine was the hardest, wasn't it?
Well, maybe it was.
Come on, Sergeant, you couldn't break an egg with that jab of yours.
Maybe I couldn't break an egg, but I sure could make an impression on your chin.
You really think so?
You bet I do.
I mean, really?
Yeah.
Well, there's one way to find out.
I thought you'd never ask. Pyle, give him that glove.
No, wait, I got a better idea.
Yeah, I'll bet you do. Okay, if you're scared, forget
No,
it.
I'm not scared. I'm not backing out, but here's the way it is, see? The boys are having a smoker up on deck Friday night, and we're having some bouts, see? Now, if you want to fight me, why don't we settle it there? I mean, why waste it here in the gym? Let everybody in on it. What do you say, Sarge?
Up on deck? In front of the whole ship?
Sure, go ahead, Sergeant. Take him up on it.
Yeah, okay, sure, why not? I'll fight you here or at the smoker. What difference does it make?
Okay, Sarge, we got a deal. It's you and me in the main event at the smoker Friday night. That ought to give the boys a kick. Okay, buddy, I'll see you then. And don't forget to show up now.
Hey, Sergeant, do you think you can whoop him?
Oh, sure he can.
Shake hand, yeah.
You'll be fighting in front of the whole ship.
So I'll be fighting in front of the whole ship. I'm no rank amateur, you know.
You mean you've had some fights, Sergeant?
What do you think? Listen, I'll tell you something. I was the welterweight champion junior high.
Is that right, Sergeant? You was a champion?
Sure, there were 65 guys in the class, too. Killer Carter, they called me. My gym teacher thought I should turn pro. He said my right was better than Lewis's.
Joe Louis?
No, Louis Patman. He was a champ in the class ahead of me. Well, listen, I'd keep this quiet if I were you fellas, because if Simpson finds out, he's liable to try to back out. It's too bad this ain't a pro fight, fellas.
Why's that, Sergeant?
Well, I mean, you might be able to pick up a few bucks. You know, betting on me.
Hey, what's to stop us?
Well, it wouldn't be too ethical for your sergeant to suggest something like that, especially with me being the favorite. Oh, boy, I can't wait till Friday.
Golly, Killer Carter.
How much you got, Brady?
$13. How much you got?
Good. 22. Now, if we can just find some suckers to bet with.
I don't know about this betting. I never did believe much in that.
Gomer, it was the sergeant who gave us the idea.
Yeah, Gomer, he was almost telling us to do it.
But only if it was a professional fight, he said.
Gomer, please, don't spoil it.
Shouldn't we tell him that Sergeant Carter was the champion of his school?
No. Whatever you do, don't tell him that.
But he was.
I know, but if they find out Carter's an experienced boxer, they'll want odds.
But we ought to tell him the truth. The chief ought to know who he's fighting. He might get himself hurt.
Gomer, you know what they say. All's fair in love and war, and this is war, sort of.
Hey, Duke. Look over there.
Hey, it's a good place to find some suckers. Let's get over there.
Yeah, good idea.
I don't know. I don't think it's right to bet.
Come on.
Sure hits that thing hard like a hammer.
Yeah.
He handles that bag pretty good, don't he?
Yeah.
You have some fights for he's in the Navy?
You put me on Mac.
Huh.
Don't you know about the chief? Fleet champ for 4 years. 37 knockouts. He only quit because nobody would fight him.
He was a fleet champ for 4 years. The only reason he quit is because he couldn't find anybody to fight with.
That's better than being junior high school champ, ain't it?
I'd say so, lots better. Come on, we better get out of here. Let's find Sergeant Carter and tell him what he's walking into. Come on.
Yeah, we better.
Hiya, fellas. Hey, watch this. The 0-1-2. Pump them! Pump! Slick, huh?
Oh, yeah, that's real good.
Yeah, I'm really getting back in shape.
Sergeant, we were...
Now, don't tell me if you're putting any bets down on me. I mean, I don't want to hear anything about gambling. Anything you do like that, well, it's strictly up to you.
Sergeant, what we're trying to tell you is we were watching the chief train up on deck.
Yeah? What's this, huh? I used to be able to do that every time. Pum, pum.
Sergeant, what Duke was trying to tell you is we was up on the deck watching the chief train for quite a while.
Yeah, he's got him, huh? That's smart. Where's he weak, huh? His hook's right where?
No place.
Huh?
That's right. It's not a weak spot on him. It's all hair and muscle.
What are you guys trying to tell me?
Well, the fact is, Sarge, we found out the chief was fleet champ for 4 years. He only quit because nobody would fight him.
Yeah?
Yeah, and he's got 37 knockouts.
Okay, so he was a fleet champ. So what?
Well, you might be outclassed, Sergeant. It might be too one-sided.
What?
Sergeant, I think it'd be to your credit if you spoke up and said, "This fight is unfair. My opponent is a stronger and better fighter than I am, and I think it's silly to fight him." That'd be to your credit.
Are you kidding?
But, Sarge, it's not a match. I think nobody would blame me if you came down with a bad cold or something.
Look, if I didn't know better, I'd think that chief sent you guys over here to scare me. Out, out, I don't want to hear anymore. Get out. Out, 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 out. Out, 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 out. Get out of here. Out, 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 out.
You know what I'm thinking, you guys?
Uh-huh. Sergeant Carter's gonna get himself killed. Killed That's just what Sergeant Carter's gonna get himself if he's killed.
Yeah, Gomer, I'm worried about him, too. He could get himself hurt bad.
Well, why he's so stubborn? Everybody'd understand if he'd just speak up and say, I do not wish to fight someone so much better than I am. So for that reason,
Gomer,
I am...
forget it. Look, you know he's not going to do that.
Yeah. You know, you guys, I'm wondering, maybe if we can't get through to the sergeant, we can get through to the chief.
How do you mean?
I mean psychological warfare.
Huh?
The old war of nerves. We'll gaslight him.
How do you do that?
We scare him to death, and maybe he'll back out. We'll have to get some of the rest of the guys in on it, but it might just work. Yeah, psychological warfare. It's our only hope.
Well, look who's here. The boys in green.
I bet the sergeant's pretty green about now, right, fellas?
You know, maybe after this fight, we'll get to see our first burial at sea.
You fellas sure crack a good joke.
What do you guys want?
Well, the guys in our platoon got together and pooled all their money and sent us over here to find out if you guys might be interested in making a little bet on the fight.
A bet?
You mean you guys want to bet on Carter?
Well, sure. You don't think we bet on anybody else, do you?
I'd like some of that action.
Yeah, me too. How much you guys got?
$220.
I don't know if we can cover all that. Suppose you guys want the odds? 5 to 1?
5 to 1? Oh, no, that's too high. We couldn't possibly give him 5 to 1, could we, Frankie?
Oh, no.
No, I'm sorry, fellas. Best we could give you is 4 to 1. Take it or leave it.
Wait a minute. You want to give us 4 to 1 odds? Make Carter the favorite?
Yeah. After all, our sergeant's an ex-champ.
He's an ex-champ?
That's right. He beat 65 guys back when he was...
Back in the days when he was fighting welterweight. 65 wins.
What?
What do you say?
Wait a minute. What about those 65 wins?
Nothing. You want to bet or don't you?
What 65 guys did he beat?
Do you want to bet?
At 4 to 1? Okay, we'll take the whole thing. Come on, guys. Get your money together. Right here. Let's go. Come on.
Hey, Gomer, look. They're putting up the money. You said they'd be too scared to bet.
I did?
Sure. You said they probably heard about Killer Carter. Remember?
What's this about Killer Carter?
Nothing. Get your dough together.
No. Wait a minute. What were you saying about Killer Carter?
That's what they used to call him. His coach thought he should turn pro, said his right was better than Lewis's.
Gomer, that's enough. You got your money together? We ain't got all day.
Yeah, we got it right here. $55. Now, what's this about Killer Carter?
Nothing. Well, here's our dough. Hey, we'll let you hold it. We trust you, see? But you keep it handy because we're going to be coming for it right after the fight, okay? Come on, you guys. Let's go, Gomer. Can I help you guys?
Oh, we just came down to see Carter train.
Oh, I'm sorry, fellas. I can't do it. I got my orders. Sarge is sparring. He doesn't want to see any visitors.
So what? It won't hurt to take a look.
Sorry.
Oh, take it easy, Sarge.
I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. It's deceitful.
Just one more, Gomer. Ready?
No! Ah! I ain't sparring with him no more. I've had it.
Don't worry, George. In a day or two, you'll be as good as new.
Man, listen to that bag. Sarge sure has fast hands. I'll say that for him. Yeah, fast hands.
Well, how long can he keep that up? He's been at it for 20 minutes.
All day, buddy. All day. You like that 1, 2?
1, 2. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9.
What's this? I'm a 6 to 1 underdog?
Well, you should see this guy train, Chief. He's been murdering his sparring partners. You ought to hear him on that heavy bag.
No, wait a minute. You guys forgetting I was the fleet champ?
Well, that was a couple of years ago, Chief.
You might have slowed up a little since then.
What? Slowed up? That's a joke. I'd like to put down $10 at 6 to 1 if I could get anybody to take the bet.
I'll take it, Chief.
Come on. I gotta see this guy for myself. Come on.
Okay, on your toes. Here comes the chief. Get going.
Deceitful.
Gomer, just try and remember it's to save your dear sergeant's life. Will you please keep remembering that?
Well,
Here, put this in your mouth.
Wait
What do you mean I can't go inside? You can't keep me out of there.
Please, Chief. It's for your own good. Sergeant worked himself up to such a pitch. If he sees you, he'll go for you right now. He won't even wait till tomorrow night.
Look, that's okay with me. If he wants it now, give it to him now.
No, Chief, you can't. You might get hurt. Well, don't worry, Leonard. You'll be eating solid food again in no time, pal.
Chief, if you still want that bet, I'll make it 10 to 1. Hey, Chief.
You should have seen his face. Did it work? Like a charm. It worked.
It's deceitful, just plain deceitful. I know. It's to save Sergeant Carter's life.
Oh, he was gaslit, all right. If anybody was gaslit, it was him. You see, Gomer? Psychological warfare. It's the only thing that can save the Sarge. Yep, the old war of nerves. It works every time.
Hey, Sergeant Carter.
What's going on here, huh?
Hey, fellas, I think it worked. Did you see the Chief's?
Well, come on, what's going on here? What is all this? Talk, somebody, talk. You were talking pretty good when I came in, Slater. Keep going.
Oh, well?
Yeah, I'm waiting.
You see, we was using psychological warfare.
What?
That's what you do when another fella is stronger than you are and it's liable to beat your brains out.
Huh?
So we gave him the gaslight.
Who? What are you talking about, anyway?
Well, Chief Simpson, you see, we was real worried about you, and you wouldn't back out, so we couldn't let you go in there and get hurt.
So?
So we threw a little scare into him, that's all.
Yeah? How'd you do that?
Well, first of all the guys got together and put up all their money, and we went over and betted on you.
Yeah, and we gave those sailors 4 to 1 odds.
You gave them 4 to 1 odds? On me?
Well, it shook them up pretty good. And then we pretended this was your training camp and you were knocking everybody out.
You guys bet all the dough you have? And gave 4 to 1? Well, you can lose the whole wad.
Oh, we didn't care about that as long as it was going to help you. I personally thought it was a deceitful thing to do, but, well, as long as it was going to help out.
You guys did all that for me? You know something, fellas? I'll level with you. I was kind of worried about fighting that guy. But not anymore. That gaslighting worked on me, too. What you guys did is giving me strength, confidence. You know what I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna fight that guy like nobody ever fought before. And I'm gonna knock him out. And you know why?
Why, Sergeant?
Because you guys care.
Boy, the sergeant's really a picture of health, ain't he? He's even got roses in his cheek.
I'll tell you one thing, Gomer. Many a fight's been won on sheer confidence. Yeah, the Sarge has plenty of that. He sure has.
Bless his heart.
How do you feel, Sarge?
And now, the feature bout of the evening. In this corner, weighing 162.5, wearing gold trunks, the pride of the Marines, Sergeant Vince Killer Carter. And in this corner, weighing 171, wearing white trunks, the former fleet champion, Wayne Rattlesnake Simpson.
What do you think, Duke?
Well, like I said, Gomer, that confidence the sergeant was talking about, it could make the difference. And he's got it.
Bless his heart.
Touch gloves and come out fighting.
It's over. It's all over.
Easy, Gomer, easy. Come on.
Sergeant, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. What happened?
He knocked you out, is what?
You okay now, Sarge?
I'm sorry as I can be.
What happened, Sarge? You were so full of confidence.
I'll tell you something, fellas. Confidence is okay, but a good right cross is better. I just called you here to tell you this. I want to thank you for all you did. And I also want to apologize for last night's fight. Now, I know you lost a lot of money betting on me, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to see that every one of you get paid back.
Sergeant?
It may take me a little while, but you're going to get every cent of it back. Because what you guys did...
Sergeant?
What is it, Slater?
Well, Sergeant, you don't have to pay us back. We already got our money back. In fact, more.
You did? How?
Well, when the odds went to 20 to 1, we got $12 together and went over and bet it on the chief.
Huh? You did? Why did you do that?
Well, Sergeant, it's not that we weren't loyal or anything. It's just that we all thought those odds were too good to pass up.
Okay. So you wanted to pick up a few extra bucks. That's what was important, huh? So you bet against your sergeant. You all won. Swell. All except you, Pyle. You didn't bet, did you?
No, sir, I don't believe in betting.
Good.
But if I did believe in betting, I'd have bet some money on the chief, and I'd give all my winnings to you.
The Pirates of Taratupa, The Misadventures of McHale's Navy. Chapter 1, The Admiral and the Acid Reflux. The humidity on the island of Taratupa was the kind of thick, soul-crushing moisture that could turn a crisp naval uniform into a soggy dishcloth in under 60 seconds. For Captain Wallace B. Binghamton, known affectionately behind his back as Old Lead Bottom, it was just another day in a tropical purgatory populated by incompetent subordinates, and one particular thorn in his side, Lieutenant Commander Quentin McHale. Binghamton sat in his office, clutching a bottle of antacids as if it were a holy relic. His stomach was currently staging a coup. "Garter belts!" he roared, slamming a requisition form onto his desk. "I am the commanding officer of this base, not a haberdasher. If the nurses need garter belts, tell the supply officer to snap to it. Shake a leg. Shake. Well, you know what I mean." His faithful, albeit dim-witted, aide, Lieutenant Elroy Carpenter, hovered nearby like a nervous moth. "Sir, I have more news. Dire news. I just got a message from a pal of mine at Comfleet." Binghamton froze, a pill halfway to his mouth. "Not a transfer? Please tell me I'm being transferred to a desk in Nebraska." "Worse, sir. Admiral Rafferty is arriving today on a sneak inspection." Binghamton's face went through several shades of purple. "Iron Pants Rafferty? Coming here? Now, have you seen the state of this place? The petty officers. Club has sinks backing up. The PT-73 crew is likely running a moonshine still in the lagoon. And my blood pressure is high enough to power a destroyer." He grabbed the telephone, shouting at the operator. "Yes, this is Binghamton. Who did you expect? Tokyo Rose? Listen, the sinks are backing up. I'm the commanding officer, not a plumber. Do something." As he hung up, a devious, desperate thought began to sprout in his mind. It was a thought born of pure, unadulterated cowardice. If he were sick, truly, incapacitatedly ill, he couldn't be held responsible for the chaos Rafferty would inevitably find. "Carpenter," Binghamton whispered, his eyes wide. "If I were sick, I could appoint an acting base commander. Someone to take the fall. Someone to face the Admiral's wrath." Carpenter nodded slowly. "Sir, I am ready to accept the supreme test. I will—" "Not you, you ninny," Binghamton barked. "McHale, Quentin McHale, with that pirate and his cutthroats in charge. They'll run wild. They'll destroy themselves right in front of the Admiral. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Suddenly, Binghamton began to stagger. He clutched his chest with the theatricality of a silent movie star. Oh, the pain. Carpenter, I do look terribly sick, don't I? Terribly, sir. You look almost green. Call the medic. Quickly. On the double. As the medics arrived, Binghamton made sure to collapse into Carpenter's arms, though the lieutenant failed to catch him properly. You stupid no-shot. Binghamton hissed on the floor before remembering to groan in feigned agony. Oh, the illness! The happiest illness of my life. Chapter 2. The Command of the Cutthroats. When Quentin McHale arrived at the hospital, he found Binghamton propped up on pillows, looking like a man who had seen his own execution and was rather pleased with the seating. Arrangement. Oh, McHale! Binghamton moaned, his voice a weak reed. I'm in bad shape. The doctors, they don't know. It could be months. McHale, a man whose rugged exterior had a mind sharper than a shark's tooth, eyed the captain suspiciously. Gee, Captain, that's tough. But don't worry. The boys and I will give Lieutenant Carpenter all the help he needs. No. Binghamton gasped, sitting up with surprising vigor before flopping back. Carpenter is a boob, a complete boob. I'm appointing you acting base commander. McHale, and your little ensign, Parker. He'll be acting executive officer. Ensign Charles Parker, standing behind McHale, let out a squeak of pure joy. Me? Executive officer? Oh, boy. Skipper, did you hear that? I'm an exec. McHale tried to protest. Sir, I'm a saltwater skipper. I'd be no good behind a desk. It's an order, McHale. Now get out. Out. My stomach acid is starting to boil. The moment the door closed, McHale and Parker walked onto the base as the new masters of Taratupa. It took exactly 15 minutes for the McHale method to take hold. The Petty Officers Club was still flooded, but now the men were using it as a makeshift swimming pool. The garter belts had been found, but the crew of the PT-73 had repurposed them as slingshots for a high-stakes target practice game. Executive Officer Parker here. Parker shouted into a telephone, his voice cracking with unearned authority. Yes, the garter belts are on the way, and tell the CBs to keep their heads down at the rifle range. What? The range is in the middle of the supply route? Well, tell them to duck. Meanwhile, Gruber, the crew's resident entrepreneur, was already setting up a cultural exchange in the air raid shelter. Come on, boys. Full speed ahead. The skipper says okay. Open up shop. Within the hour, the base had transformed. There were hula dancers, a gambling ring involving hermit crabs, and a general sense of festive anarchy. It was exactly what Binghamton had hoped for, a disaster in the making. Chapter 3. The Sultan and the High Seas Farcery. The anarchy was interrupted by a signal from Comfleet. A Sultan, Karim of Mirani, was arriving with his 3 daughters. Their plane had developed engine trouble near the island of Samura, and the PT-73 was the nearest vessel. Binghamton, watching from the hospital window with a pair of binoculars, seethed. A Sultan? And McHale is rescuing him? This was supposed to be a disaster, not a diplomatic triumph. On the PT-73, McHale greeted the Sultan with all the grace a man in a tattered Hawaiian shirt could muster. Greetings, Your Highness. I'm Commander McHale. We're here to serve you. The Sultan, a man of immense dignity and even more immense luggage, gestured toward his daughters. I travel with my most valuable possessions. But tell me, these men, are they to be trusted? At that moment, Ensign Parker caught sight of the princesses. Wowie, wow, 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 he stammered, his eyes nearly popping out his head. The Sultan's face darkened. Like a chicken? Did he just make the sound of a barnyard fowl at my daughters? McHale stepped in quickly. No, sir, That's a ceremonial greeting in our country. Very respectful, very traditional. The voyage back to Teratupa was a nightmare of etiquette and mechanical failure. The Sultan, fascinated by the boat, insisted on steering. "May I?" the Sultan asked, grabbing the wheel. "By all means, sir," Parker chirped. "It's quite relaxing." Seconds later, the PT-73 was zigzagging across the lagoon like a drunken dragonfly. "I am indeed enjoying this," the Sultan cried, nearly ramming a supply barge. Back at the base, Binghamton had miraculously recovered just in time to host a dinner for the Sultan. He was determined to regain control and, more importantly, to humiliate McHale. "Your Highness," Binghamton said, bowing so low he nearly hit his head on the table. "I trust McHale didn't offend you with his rustic ways." "On the contrary," the Sultan replied, "he is a most efficient officer, and his men so colorful." But Binghamton had a plan. He knew that McHale's crew had sneaked one of the princesses out for a boat ride. To cover the absence, the crew had dressed up the brawny, hairy-chested radio man, Willie, in a veil and silks. During the Sultan's traditional dance, Binghamton pounced. "Sir, one of these girls is an imposter. A phony." He grabbed the veiled princess and yanked. The veil fell away to reveal Willie's confused, bearded face. "Aha!" Binghamton screamed. "A man! You've been deceived, Your Highness." The Sultan stood up, trembling with rage. "You dare to lay hands on my retinue? You dare to accuse my daughters of being bearded?" "No, sir, I meant—" "Enough! I shall report this outrage to Washington. You are a stupid infidel, Captain." As the Sultan stormed out, Binghamton stood in the middle of the mess hall, holding a piece of silk and looking at a very apologetic Willie. "Why me?" Binghamton whispered. "Why is it always me?" Chapter 4. The Laughing Gas and the Iron Pants. The Sultan's departure left a vacuum of chaos that was quickly filled by the arrival of Admiral Iron Pants Rafferty. Binghamton, desperate to save his career, decided that the only way to explain the base's state was to claim he was suffering from combat, fatigue, and that McHale was a hallucination. "Hallucinations, Admiral." Binghamton cried, lying in his hospital bed. "I see hula girls in the air raid shelter. I see McHale everywhere." Rafferty, a man who looked like he had been carved out of granite, peered at him. "Binghamton, you're either crazy or the worst officer in the Pacific." At that very moment, Parker was in deep trouble. A fitness board had been convened to evaluate his performance. His record was, to put it mildly, colorful. He had once torpedoed a garbage scow because he thought it was a Japanese submarine camouflaged with potato peels. "I'm a goner, Skipper," Parker wailed. "Binghamton's going to break me down to seaman second class." McHale rubbed his chin. "Not if we can get Binghamton in a good mood. A really good mood." The crew's plan was simple: nitrous oxide, laughing gas. They pumped a tank of the gas into Binghamton's office through the window. Within minutes, the captain was transformed. He wasn't just happy, he was hysterical. "Chucky Wucky." Binghamton giggled, hugging a terrified Ensign Parker. "You torpedoed a garbage scow? That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Potato peels. Ha!" Admiral Shoemaker, arriving for the fitness board, walked into the office to find Binghamton dancing on his desk. "Captain Binghamton," Shoemaker roared, "what is the meaning of this?" "Oh, hi, Shoey," Binghamton chirped, trying to pin a medal on the Admiral's nose. "Don't be such a gloom, Gus. Let's have a party. Look at Parker. He's a hero. He faces death with A. Smile." Just then, an air raid siren blared. Real Japanese planes were buzzing the base. While everyone dove for cover, Parker, still dizzy from a bit of accidental gas exposure, stumbled out onto the airfield. He began firing a machine gun wildly into the air, laughing all the while. By sheer astronomical luck, he clipped the wing of a Japanese bomber, sending it spiraling into the sea. Admiral Rafferty watched from the trench, stunned. Look at that man, laughing in the face of death. He's a combat natural. Binghamton, you were right. This man is a magnificent officer. Binghamton, still high on the gas, nodded vigorously. He's an angel, my little Chucky-Wucky angel. The fitness board was canceled. Parker was promoted briefly. And Binghamton spent the next 3 days with a headache that felt like a naval bombardment. Chapter 5, The Great New Caledonia Caper. A few weeks later, the PT-73 was assigned a mission that sounded like a dream. Go to New Caledonia and pick up the base payroll. $62,000 in small, unmarked bills. Don't let those pirates near that money. Binghamton warned Carpenter. I've set a trap. I've marked the bills. If a single cent goes missing, McHale is going to the brig for life. In New Caledonia, the crew promptly ignored all restrictions. For hours, liberty. McHale announced, but be back by 1300 and stay sober. Parker, tasked with carrying the payroll bag, took a shortcut down Saloon Road, past a racetrack. He was immediately distracted by a beautiful woman with a very specific birthmark on her right. Ankle, a small brown heart. While he was investigating the birthmark, a group of thieves knocked him unconscious and made off with the bag. When McHale found him, Parker was weeping. Skipper, the money, it's gone. $62,000. And all I saw was an ankle. An ankle with a heart? McHale asked. That's our only lead. Men, we have to find that girl before Binghamton finds us. The search through the streets of Noumea was a frantic comedy of errors. The crew was lifting tablecloths, peering under benches, and accidentally offending half the female population of the city. Not a heart in sight, Skip. Gruber reported, rubbing a bruised cheek from a particularly angry Frenchwoman. But the real trouble was Sidney. Sidney was an alligator the crew had adopted, mostly because he liked Parker's mother's peanut butter sandwiches. Sidney had followed them to New Caledonia and, in a fit of reptilian curiosity, had snatched a wallet out of a passerby's hand. That passerby was Captain Binghamton, who had flown in secretly to spy on them. My wallet, Binghamton screamed. That beast ate my wallet. And my ID card. McHale, you're under arrest for alligator-assisted larceny. Chapter 6, The Court-Martial and the Alligator Witness. The scene shifted to a makeshift courtroom on the base. Parker was acting as his own defense attorney, which was like a sheep representing itself in a court of wolves. I object, Parker shouted. You can't call Sidney the alligator thief. He had an unhappy childhood. Binghamton, red-faced and furious, slammed his fist on the table. I don't care about his childhood. He stole my wallet, which contained 9 marked $100 bills, bills that were meant to be bait for you pirates. McHale entered the room, leading Sidney on a very thick rope. Your Honor, we have new evidence. Sidney has decided to turn state's evidence. An alligator cannot testify. Binghamton shrieked. He doesn't have to talk, sir, McHale said smoothly. He just has to open his mouth. With a bit of peanut butter as encouragement, Sidney yawned. Inside his massive maw sat a soggy canvas bag. The payroll, Parker cried. But as McHale reached for the bag, Sidney snapped his jaws shut. A tug of war ensued between the United States Navy and 300 pounds of stubborn reptile. Suddenly, the bag tore. Thousands of dollars began to fly through the air, caught in the breeze of a nearby electric fan. It was raining money. My money! Carpenter screamed, diving for the bills. Wait, these bills are marked. Sir, you used my back pay as bait. The admiral in charge of the hearing looked at Binghamton with utter contempt. You used your own officer's pay to frame another officer? And you involved an alligator? Binghamton, this is the most disgraceful thing I've ever heard. But but Binghamton stammered. Charges dismissed, the Admiral declared. And, Captain, I suggest you take a long rest. A very long rest. Chapter 7, The Final Laugh. As the PT-73 roared back toward its home dock, the crew sat on the deck, sipping cold drinks and enjoying the sunset. Sidney, the alligator, was lounging near the torpedo tubes, looking very satisfied with himself. You know, Skipper, Parker said, adjusting his cap, I think I'm getting the hang of this Navy life. McHale laughed, slapping the ensign on the back. Just don't go looking for any more birthmarks, Chuck. I don't think my heart can take it. Back at the base, Binghamton sat in his office, staring at a single, soggy $1 bill that had Sidney's tooth marks through the middle of George Washington's face. One day, Binghamton whispered to the empty room, One day, McHale, I'll get you. From the lagoon, the sound of PT-73's engines echoed, followed by the distant, unmistakable sound of a crew singing a rowdy sea shanty. Binghamton reached for his antacids. He was going to need the whole bottle. The end. The Pirates of Taratupa. A Tale of Lead Bottom and the 73. Chapter 1. The Garter Belt Crisis in the Shadow of Iron Pants. The sun over Taratupa was less a celestial body and more of a personal vendetta against the United States Navy. It beat down on the corrugated tin roofs of the base with ferocity that could turn a ham sandwich into a charcoal briquette in under 10 minutes. Inside the headquarters, Captain Wallace B. Binghamton, known affectionately and exclusively behind his back as Old Lead Bottom, was having a morning that would have made Job trade in his boils for a swift discharge. Wow, 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 wow. Binghamton barked, his voice hitting a register usually reserved for high-altitude bird calls. He glared at the man across his desk. Garter belts, Carpenter. You are the supply officer here. If the nurses need garter belts, then you snap to it. Shake a leg. Oh, you know what I mean. Lieutenant Carpenter, a man whose primary contribution to the war effort was looking nervous in a crisp uniform, flinched. Sir, I'm trying, but the Pacific Theater isn't exactly a lingerie boutique. Everything is on my shoulders. Binghamton lamented, clutching his stomach as if it were a ticking bomb. And now this? I just got a message. Admiral Rafferty is arriving today on a sneak inspection. Iron. Pants Rafferty. Do you realize what a mess this place is in? As if on cue, the telephone shrieked. Binghamton snatched it up. Hello. Yes. This is Captain Binghamton. Who did you expect to find in my office? Tokyo Rose? The Sinks and the Petty Officers Club are backing up? So, what do you expect me to do about it? I'm the commanding officer here, not a plumber. He slammed the phone down and turned to his pill bottle, rattling it like a maraca. My stomach acid could start a car, Carpenter. It really could. Please, sir, take it easy on those pills, Carpenter pleaded. They give you such indigestion. But a devious light began to twinkle in Binghamton's eyes, a light that usually signaled a plan, destined for catastrophic failure. Wait a minute. If I was sick, really sick, I could appoint an acting base commander. He could face the Admiral. He could take the blame for the sinks, the garter belts, and the general aura of dereliction. Binghamton's grin widened into something predatory. I won't appoint you, Carpenter. You're a boob. I'm appointing McHale. McHale? Carpenter gasped. But, sir, with McHale and his cutthroats in charge, they'll run wild. They'll turn this place into a Roman orgy. Exactly. Binghamton cheered. They'll destroy themselves right in front of the Admiral. It's brilliant. Carpenter. Call the medic. I'm fading. I'm practically at death's door. Chapter 2. The Acting Base Commander. Commander Quentin McHale was a man who viewed Navy regulations as polite suggestions rather than laws. His crew on the PT, 73, were less of a military unit and more of a floating circus. There was Gruber, the man who could find a case of scotch in the middle of a desert. Willie, who operated a still that produced something closer to jet fuel than moonshine. And Ensign Charles Parker, a man whose clumsiness was statistically impossible. When McHale was summoned to Binghamton's deathbed, he found the captain draped over a chair, groaning with the theatricality of a silent movie star. "Oh, McHale," Binghamton moaned. "I'm in bad shape. Bad shape. I'm appointing you acting base commander. And Parker here. He's the acting executive officer." Parker's eyes widened behind his thick glasses. "Oh, boy. Did you hear that, Skipper? Acting exec. You won't regret this, Captain." "I know," Binghamton whispered, suppressed glee nearly choking him. "Now, go take command. This minute." The moment McHale stepped into the command office, the floodgates opened. The phone rang incessantly. Chief petty officers marching complaining about plumbing. And then there was a garter belt issue. "Skip, we found them," Gruber announced, holding up a bunch of elasticated straps. "The garter belts for the nurses." "Good news," McHale sighed into the phone. "Lieutenant, we found those items. I'll have them sent over." "Yes, ma'am. You're welcome." But the chaos was only beginning. Parker, intoxicated by his new authority, was trying to manage maintenance. "Executive Officer Parker here. What? The Seabees are building in the middle of the rifle range? Tell them to keep their heads down." Meanwhile, the crew of the 73 saw an opportunity. If McHale was the boss, the base was their playground. "Skip," Gruber whispered. "The boys want to throw a little shindig. A little action to rake in some dough." McHale, distracted by a radar report and a complaining nurse, waved a hand. "Full speed ahead, Gruber. Just keep me posted." Within an hour, Taratupa had transformed. Hula girls appeared from nowhere. Music blared. Willie still was working overtime. It was exactly the Roman orgy Binghamton had hoped for. Chapter 3. Iron Pants and the Hula Trap. The peace, or rather, the vibrant chaos, was shattered by the arrival of a jeep. Iron Pants Rafferty is coming. Parker screamed, tripping over a crate of pineapples. His plane just touched down. McHale's relaxed demeanor vanished. "Iron Pants? Here? Now, Gruber, get those girls out of here. Put them in the air raid shelter. Move it." As Admiral Rafferty stepped out of his jeep, he was met by McHale and Parker, both standing at a rigid, terrified attention. Parker was wearing a native layover's uniform, which he had forgotten to remove. "Welcome to Taratupa, sir." McHale saluted. "Acting Base Commander McHale at your service." Rafferty, a man whose face appeared to be carved out of granite, stared at Parker. "What the devil is that thing around your neck, Ensign?" "Oh, old native custom, sir." Parker squeaked. "Welcome ashore. Vodya wow. Rafferty ignored the gibberish. "I heard Binghamton was in the hospital. I'll pay my respects, then we begin the inspection." Back at the hospital, Binghamton was vibrating with excitement. "He's here. The Admiral is here. Now, when I tip him off about the orgy in the air raid shelter, McHale is finished." But McHale was one step ahead. As the Admiral entered Binghamton's room, the captain began a performance. "Admiral, you won't believe what's going on. There are hula girls in the air raid shelter. McHale is running a den of iniquity." Rafferty looked at McHale, then back at the frantic Binghamton. "Hula girls? In the shelter?" "He's delirious, sir," McHale said smoothly. "The combat fatigue. He sees hula girls everywhere." "I do not." Binghamton shrieked, jumping out of bed in his robe. "I'll show you. To the shelter." They marched to the shelter, Binghamton leading the way with maniacal triumph. He flung the doors open. "There, look at the disgrace." The shelter was empty, save for a few dusty crates and a very confused-looking goat. The crew had moved the party to the base laundry minutes before. "Captain," Rafferty said, his voice dropping to a dangerous rumble. "If you ever waste my time with your hallucinations again, I'll have you shipped to a weather station in the Aleutians." McHale, proceed with the inspection. Binghamton stood in the dust, defeated. But they were here. I saw the grass skirts. Chapter 4, The Sultan of Marami. Just as the dust settled from the Rafferty incident, a new crisis arrived. The admiral called with a high-priority mission. "Binghamton, the Sultan of Marami is being evacuated. His island is under threat. He's arriving with his 3 daughters, the princesses. I want a 100% perfect reception. Do you hear me?" Binghamton, eager to redeem himself, decided to send McHale and the 73 on a wild goose chase to a deserted strip called Aku Aku, keeping the glory of the Sultan's arrival for himself. However, fate and a faulty engine intervened. The Sultan's plane was forced down near the island where the 73 happened to be patrolling. "Greetings, Your Highness," McHale said, bowing to a magnificent man in silk robes. "I am Commander McHale. We're here to rescue you." "I am Kareem," the Sultan replied, "and these are my daughters." The crew of the 73 stared. The princesses were stunning. "Wowie, wowie, wow, wow," Gruber whispered. "Like a chicken," the Sultan snapped, misinterpreting the greeting. "The next man who debases the dignity of the princesses will answer to me." The trip back to Taratupa was a delicate balancing act. McHale managed to charm the Sultan by letting him steer the PT boat. "It's quite relaxing, isn't it, sir?" "Most amusing," the Sultan agreed, nearly running them into a coral reef. Back at the base, Binghamton was furious to find McHale returning with the royal party. He immediately tried to take over. "Your Highness, welcome. I am Captain Binghamton. I'll show you to your quarters." The Sultan, however, was already a fan of McHale. "The commander is a most efficient officer. He shall join us for dinner." Binghamton's face turned a shade of purple that matched the Sultan's robes. He spent the rest of the day trying to sabotage the dinner. But the real trouble started when the crew, specifically Virgil, decided to take one of the princesses, Siri, for a secret boat ride. "If the Sultan finds out Siri is missing, we're dead." Parker panicked. To stall for time, the crew had to improvise. They convinced the Sultan that his daughters should perform a traditional dance. When only 2 princesses appeared, Gruber and Parker dressed in veils and grass skirts to fill the gaps. Binghamton, suspicious as always, burst into the room. "One of these girls is an imposter. I know it." He began pulling at veils. You're the phony Balinese bunny." He unmasked Parker. The Sultan stood up, trembling with rage. "Captain, your unpardonable behavior. You have insulted my house." "But, sir," Binghamton stammered, "it's Parker. It's a sailor in a skirt." "Stupid infidel," the Sultan roared. "I will report this to Washington." Chapter 5, The Laughing Gas and the Fitness Board. The Sultan's departure left Binghamton in a state of permanent vengeful fury. He decided that Ensign Parker was the weak link. He convened a fitness board to have Parker stripped of his commission. "I'm going to break him down to seaman second class, so fast it'll make his head spin." Binghamton cackled. The crew of the 73 knew they had to act. "We got to jolly him up," McHale suggested. "Get him in a good mood so he cancels the board." "How?" Willie asked. Old Lead Bottom hasn't smiled since the Hoover administration. "The dentist," Gruber exclaimed. "The base dentist just got a shipment of nitrous oxide, laughing gas." The plan was set. They rigged a tank of the gas to the ventilation system of Binghamton's office. As the fitness board, led by the stern Admiral Shoemaker, arrived, the crew turned on the valves. Inside the office, the atmosphere changed. Binghamton, who had been mid-rant about Parker's incompetence, suddenly stopped. A giggle escaped his lips. "And another thing," Binghamton chirped. "Parker once torpedoed a garbage scow. Ha! Ha ha! He thought it was a camouflage sub. Isn't that right? Admiral Shoemaker stared. Captain, are you quite well? I'm wonderful. I'm Chucky Wucky. Binghamton squealed, skipping around the room. He grabbed the Admiral's hand. Let's dance, Shoemaker. Let's forget the board and go swimming. This is disgraceful. Shoemaker huffed, though he too was beginning to feel a strange lightness in his head. Suddenly, an air raid siren wailed. Real Japanese planes were spotted. Parker, in a state of sheer panic, stumbled out onto the deck. In his confusion, he tripped, fell against a machine gun, and accidentally fired a burst that clipped the wing of a passing Zero. The plane went down in a plume of smoke. Did you see that? Shoemaker shouted, leaning out the window and inhaling a fresh burst of gas. Dead-eye Parker. He stood in the face of death and laughed. He's a hero. Binghamton, now fully under the influence, was hanging out the window. Vovye wow. Go get Chucky Wucky. By the time the gas wore off, Parker had been awarded a commendation, and the fitness board was canceled. Binghamton woke up with a headache and a vague memory of calling the Admiral Shoey Woey. But for the moment, the 73 were safe. Chapter 6. The Ghost of PT-13. Binghamton's next scheme involved psychological warfare. He found an old report suggesting that PT-73 had originally been commissioned as PT-13, a jinxed boat that had lost 2 previous crews. If I can convince them the boat is haunted, they'll all put in for transfers. Binghamton told Carpenter. The crew began to hear strange noises. Engines started by themselves at night. Lights flickered. It's a ghost ship. Parker wailed, hiding under his bunk. But McHale smelled a rat, or rather, a Binghamton. He's trying to scare us off our own boat, boys. Well, 2 can play at that game. That night, the crew dressed in white sheets and rigged the boat with eerie, glowing paint. They snuck into Binghamton's quarters while he was sleeping. Wallace B. Binghamton. McHale whispered through a megaphone, his voice echoing. Binghamton bolted upright. Who's there? Carpenter. We are the ghosts of PT-13, the crew chanted. We've come to take you with us to the big PT boat in the sky. No. Binghamton screamed, diving under his covers. I'm a superior officer. You can't haunt me. It's against regulations. Give us the transfers, Wallace, the ghost demanded. Sign them or stay with us. Forever. Binghamton scrambled for his pen, signing whatever papers were thrust in front of him. The next morning, he found he had signed a series of requisitions for a year's supply of steaks, 3 cases of bourbon, and a week's leave for the entire crew. Chapter 7. Sidney the Alligator. Life on Taratupa took a turn for surreal when the crew adopted a mascot, an alligator they named Sidney. Sidney was surprisingly friendly, provided you fed him Ensign Parker's mother's peanut butter sandwiches. The trouble started when Binghamton decided to trap the crew using a wallet full of marked bills. He accidentally dropped the wallet near the 73's shack, waiting for someone to steal it. Sidney, ever the scavenger, found the wallet and brought it to the 73. Oh, no! Parker gasped. Sidney ate the captain. This is all that's left, his ID card. Hip, hip, hooray, the crew cheered. But Binghamton was very much alive. He burst in, flanked by guards. I've got you. Theft of the base payroll. I dropped a wallet with $900. And you swiped it. We didn't swipe it, sir, McHale said calmly. An alligator stole it. An alligator? Do you think I'm a fool? Binghamton roared. I'm convening a court-martial. The trial was a circus. Parker acted as his own defense attorney. I object, Your Honor. You can't call Sidney stupid. He had an unhappy childhood. Order, the judge shouted. Produce the alligator or I'll pass judgment. The crew dragged Sidney into courtroom. The alligator was wearing a small Navy cap. Now, Sidney, McHale coached, tell the court the truth. Sidney yawned, and a wallet fell out his mouth. It was indeed Binghamton's wallet, but there was a catch. The Mart bills were gone. In their place were several half-eaten peanut butter sandwiches. "He ate the money!" Carpenter cried. "Aha!" Parker shouted. "Since the evidence has been consumed by a non-military entity, I demand a dismissal." Binghamton fainted, and Sidney was promoted to an honorary mascot, much to the captain's eternal chagrin. Chapter 8. The Great Parole Heist in New Caledonia. The final showdown took place in New Caledonia. Binghamton had been forced to take the 73 to pick up the base parole, $62,000 in cash. "I don't trust you, McHale," Binghamton sneered. "I'm coming with you to supervise." In Numia, Parker was tasked with carrying the bag of money. He managed to get separated from the group and ended up in a chase through the narrow streets, pursued by a group of French pickpockets and a woman in a greenish-red dress that he couldn't stop, describing. "I lost it." Parker sobbed when he finally found McHale. "The money! It's gone." "Gone!" Binghamton shrieked. "That's it. Grand larceny. You're all going to brig for life." They tracked the thieves to a local warehouse. A firefight broke out, not with bullets, but with whatever was at hand. Parker found an old, decorative cannon and, in a moment of desperate inspiration, stuffed a fuse into it. "Don't fire that," McHale yelled. "It's a relic." Boom! The cannon exploded, but instead of a ball, it rained cash. The thieves had used the cannon as a hiding spot for the payroll. "Look," Gruber shouted, "it's manna from heaven." Bills fluttered down like green snow. Binghamton stood in the middle of the street, frantically trying to catch the flying money. 1, 2, 3. Binghamton counted, his eyes darting wildly. "McHale, you're still under arrest. 4, obstructing a cannon." "But, sir," McHale smiled, "we found the money, and we saved your eyebrows." As the 73 sailed back toward Taratupa, the crew sat on the deck, sharing a bottle of champagne, Willie's latest batch. Behind them, in the distance, they could still hear Binghamton's voice echoing across the water. "Wow, wow, wow, wow. McHale, I'll get you for this. If it's the last thing I do." McHale tipped his cap. "Wowie, wowie, wow, wow, Captain. Vovye, wow, wow." The end. The Pirates of Taratupa. A novel of high seas and higher absurdity. Chapter 1. The Shadow of Iron Pants. The Pacific sun was a relentless golden hammer, beating down on the corrugated tin roofs of Taratupa Island. It was a place where the humidity was thick enough to chew, and the only thing more volatile than the tropical weather was the temperament of Captain Wallace B. Binghamton. Binghamton sat in his office, his eyes bulging as he stared at a supply manifest. "Wow, wow, wow, wow," he barked, his voice climbing an octave with every wow. He looked across his desk at his sycophantic aide, Lieutenant Elroy Carpenter. "Garter belts, Carpenter. You are the supply officer here. If the nurses need garter belts, then you snap to it. I mean, you shake a leg. Oh, you know what I mean." "Yes, sir. Right away, sir." Carpenter squeaked, nearly tripping over his own feet. Binghamton slumped back, his stomach churning. What a war. Everything is on my shoulders. Sinks are backing up in the Petty Officers Club. The nurses are losing their hosiery, and to top it all off. He paused, his face turning a shade of pale green. "I just got a message. Admiral Rafferty is arriving today on a sneak inspection." Carpenter gasped. "Iron Pants Rafferty? Coming here." "Iron Pants," Binghamton whispered, the name sounding like a death knell. "He's going to see this mess. He's going to see McHale's crew running around like a bunch of South. See pirates. My career is over, Carpenter. Unless..." A slow, predatory grin spread across Binghamton's face. It was the look of a man who had just realized he could push someone else in front of him moving. Train, if I were sick, terribly, incapacitatingly sick, I would have to appoint an acting base commander, someone to take the heat, someone for the Admiral to scream at. Sir, you don't mean... I mean McHale. Binghamton shouted, jumping up, with McHale and his cutthroats in charge. They'll run wild. They'll destroy themselves right in front of the Admiral. It's brilliant. Carpenter, call the medic. I'm dying. I'm fading fast. Chapter 2, The Acting Commander. Commander Quentin McHale was a man who preferred the spray of salt water to the smell of mimeograph ink. When he was summoned to Binghamton's bedside, he found the captain draped in a robe, groaning like a wounded water buffalo. "Oh, McHale," Binghamton moaned, clutching a bottle of indigestion pills. "The tests, they haven't come back, but I'm in bad shape, terribly bad shape." McHale, a seasoned veteran of both naval warfare and Binghamton's theatrics, leaned back. "Gee, Captain, I'm sorry. Maybe you just need some rest." "Rest? No, the base needs a leader," Binghamton cried, suddenly sitting up with suspicious vigor. "I'm appointing you the acting base commander, McHale, and because I care about your success, I'm appointing your Ensign Parker as the acting executive officer. Ensign Charles Parker, a man whose primary combat skill was accidental self-sabotage, beamed with pride. "Oh boy, did you hear that, Skipper? Thanks, Captain. You'll never regret this." "I know," Binghamton smirked, sinking back into his pillows. "Now get out. Out, out, out." Within an hour, the administration building of Teratupa was under new management. It was, quite literally, the lunatics taking over the asylum. "Executive Officer Parker here." Parker shouted into the telephone, which he was currently holding upside down. "What? The sinks are plugged? Well, tell the petty officers to use a bucket. I'm busy conducting important naval business." McHale sat at Binghamton's desk, his feet up. The crew of the PT-73, Gruber, Virgil, Christie, and the rest were treating the office like a clubhouse. "Hey, Skip," Gruber said, leaning against a filing cabinet. "The boys were wondering if we could throw a little shindig. You know, a bit of a wing-ding to celebrate the new job." McHale grinned. "Gruber, my orders are full speed ahead. If the boys want action, give them action. To the moon, Skip." Gruber cheered. What McHale didn't know was that full speed ahead meant Gruber was opening a makeshift casino, a hula show, and a black market souvenir stand right in the middle of the base. By the time the dust settled, Teratupa looked less like a naval station and more like a chaotic carnival. Chapter 3, The Hula and the Admiral. While McHale was busy juggling a dozen crises, including a shortage of garter belts and an air raid siren that wouldn't stop screaming, Admiral Iron Pants Rafferty arrived. He was a man with a jaw made of granite and a temperament to match. Binghamton, watching from his hospital window, was ecstatic. "Look at it, Carpenter. A regular Roman orgy. Hula girls, gambling chaos. McHale is finished." McHale, alerted to the Admiral's arrival, panicked. "Parker, get those girls out of here. Hide them." "Where, Skip?" Parker yelped. "The air raid shelter. Move." As the Admiral's jeep pulled up, McHale and Parker stood at stiff attention, looking like they were trying to hold back a sneeze. "Welcome to Teratupa, sir." McHale barked. "Acting Base Commander McHale at your service." Rafferty looked at Parker, who was wearing a flower lay over his uniform. "What the devil is that thing around your neck, Ensign?" "Oh, an old native custom, sir," Parker squeaked. "Welcome ashore. Aloha, and all that gibberish." Binghamton, unable to contain his glee, burst out of the hospital in his pajamas. Admiral, you must go to the air raid shelter. Right now. It's disgraceful. Disgraceful." "Binghamton, what are you doing out of bed?" Rafferty growled. Never mind my health. Sir, the hula girls. They're in the shelter. McHale has turned this base into a madhouse. They marched to the shelter, Binghamton leading the way with a triumphant strut. He flung open the heavy steel door. There! Look at the evidence. The shelter was empty. Or rather, it contained only a very confused-looking PT-73 crewman holding a fire extinguisher. Fire drill, sir, Parker shouted, his voice cracking. 100% successful. Rafferty turned on Binghamton. Binghamton, if you haven't gone to pieces from combat fatigue, I'd swear you're suffering from hallucinations. Hula girls? In an air raid shelter? Back to bed. Captain, that's an order. Chapter 4, The Sultan and the Three Princesses. Disaster was a recurring guest on Taratupa. No sooner had Rafferty left than a new crisis arrived in the form of a sultan. The Sultan of Marami is coming, Binghamton announced, having miraculously recovered from his illness. He's bringing his 3 daughters. The Admiral wants us to go all out, if McHale or his riffraff. Ruin this. I'll personally run them through. McHale was tasked with rescuing the Sultan after his plane went down near the island of Samura. When the PT-73 arrived, they found a majestic figure surrounded by luggage and 3 veiled women. Greetings, Your Highness, McHale said, bowing. I am Commander McHale. We're here to serve you. Wowie, wow, wow, Parker whispered, catching a glimpse of the princesses. Like a chicken. The Sultan glared. The next man who dares to debase the dignity of my daughters will answer to me. No debasing, sir. Just bowing. Parker stammered. Back at the base, Binghamton prepared a grand dinner. He was determined to keep McHale away, but the Sultan, charmed by the PT boat ride, insisted on McHale's presence. During the dinner, things went south with the speed of a torpedo. Gruber, in a desperate attempt to impress a girl, had stolen a uniform and was trying to masquerade as an officer. Meanwhile, Parker had managed to lose one of the princesses, literally. She had gone for a swim, leaving her sisters in a panic. In a moment of pure desperation, Parker convinced 2 of the crewmen, Virgil and Christie, to dress in veils and pretend to be the missing princesses. Gentlemen, the Sultan announced, my daughters will now dance for you. Binghamton leaned in, eager for the show. Oh, I would love to see your daughters dance, sir. The princesses came out. They moved with the grace of drunken sailors, their combat boots clunking under their silk robes. Binghamton's eyes narrowed. He noticed one princess had particularly hairy ankles. Wait a minute, Binghamton shouted, leaping up. This one is a phony. You phony Balinese bunny. He ripped the veil off, revealing the terrified, bearded face of Virgil. Captain, what is the meaning of this outrage? The Sultan roared. Sir, he's a sailor. He's one of McHale's pirates. The Sultan stood up, his dignity wounded. I will report this to your Washington. This is an insult to the Sultan of Marami. Binghamton stood in the ruins of his dinner party, watching the Sultan storm out. Why me? He whispered to the empty room. Why is it always me? Chapter 5, The Laughing Gas and the Fitness Board. The vendetta between Binghamton and Parker reached a boiling point when the captain ordered a fitness board to evaluate Parker's competence, or lack thereof. I'm going to break you down to seaman second class, so fast it'll make your head spin. Binghamton cackled. McHale knew they needed a miracle. Listen, boys, he told the crew. If we can get Binghamton in a good mood, he might cancel the hearing. But how do you make a man like that happy? Laughing gas, Gruber suggested. Nitrous oxide. I swiped the tank from the dentist. The plan was simple. Pump the gas into Binghamton's office right before the fitness board arrived. When the captain was happy, Parker would ask for a reprieve. The crew set up the rig. As the gas hissed into the room, Binghamton's scowl began to melt. He started to giggle. Then he started to howl. Oh, McHale, he shrieked, clutching his sides. You torpedoed a garbage scow. That's a riot. It looked like a nip sub with potato peels. Oh, that's classic. Sir, Parker said, leaning in, about that fitness board. Cancel it. Cancel everything. You're a barrel of fun. Chucky Wucky. I love you, Chucky Wucky. But the plan backfired when Admiral Shoemaker arrived for the board earlier than expected. He found the base commander dancing on his desk, singing about Bingy Winky and throwing goldenrod at his subordinates. Binghamton, Shoemaker roared. What in the name of the Great White Fleet is going on here? Oh, hello, Admiral Shoot Me. Want to see a fire drill? Parker, show him the fire drill. In the chaos, an actual air raid siren went off. A lone Japanese bomber appeared on the horizon. Parker, still lightheaded from the gas, wandered out onto the tarmac, laughing in the face of death. He hopped into a gun mount and, by some miracle of sheer, unadulterated luck, shot the plane down with a single-handed burst. Shoemaker was stunned. Anyone who would stand laughing in the face of death like that, the lad was born for combat. Binghamton, you're the one who needs a fitness board. This man is a hero. Binghamton slumped against his desk as the gas wore off. Doot, doot, he whispered miserably. Chapter 6. The Witness Named Sidney. The ultimate showdown occurred when the base payroll, $62,000 in small unmarked bills, went missing. I've outsmarted you this time, McHale, Binghamton declared. He had marked the bills and placed them in a wallet, which he then accidentally dropped near the PT-73 shack as bait. But before any of the crew could find it, an alligator named Sidney, a friendly reptile the crew had adopted as a mascot, swiped the wallet. Sir, an alligator stole your money, McHale explained. An alligator? You think I'm a fool, McHale? You're all under arrest for grand larceny. The court-martial of Ensign Parker was a circus. Binghamton acted as a prosecutor, pacing back and forth with theatrical flair. I intend to prove that this deceitful, thieving ensign stole my wallet. I object, Parker shouted. I demand a mistrial on the ground of temporary insanity. Whose insanity? The judge asked. The alligator's, sir. He was crazy about my mother's peanut butter. Just as the judge was about to deliver a verdict, McHale burst into the courtroom. Your Honor, we have new evidence. Bring in the key witness. The crew marched in, carrying Sidney the alligator. The courtroom erupted in screams. Order! Order! The judge pounded his gavel. Open up, Sidney, McHale commanded. Sidney opened his massive jaws and out dropped the marked wallet right onto the judge's desk. Exhibit A, McHale said coolly. Binghamton turned white. It's a frame-up. They planted that phony wallet on a poor, unsuspecting alligator. But it was too late. Lieutenant Carpenter, under pressure, admitted the truth. Sir, it was a trap. Captain Binghamton set the whole thing to frame Commander McHale. The judge glared at Binghamton. Captain, I suggest you drop these charges before I charge you with filing a false report. And get that reptile out of my court. Chapter 7. The Ghost of PT-13. In a final, desperate attempt to break the crew's spirit, Binghamton tried to convince them that the PT-73 was actually the jinxed PT-13, a boat with a legendary history of disasters. It's a Jonah ship, McHale. Binghamton warned. Everyone who sails on her is doomed. The crew, normally superstitious, were actually terrified, but McHale saw through the ruse. He's tried to scare us into transferring so he can get a new crew of yes-men. Well, 2 can play at that game. That night, the base was haunted, using projectors, fishing lines, and a healthy amount of phosphorescent paint. The crew turned the PT-73 into a ghost ship. Binghamton, sitting in his office, heard a low, spectral moaning. Ho, 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 Captain. Who's there? Binghamton whimpered, clutching his flashlight. A glowing figure appeared in his window. It was McHale, draped in a sheet and covered in glowing paint. We've come back from the grave. Wally, the ghost of PT-13. Oh, no. Mikhail, I thought you were dead. We're all dead, Wally, and we want our transfers back. Give them to us. Or we'll haunt you until you join us in the big PT boat in the sky. Binghamton scrambled to his desk, grabbed the transfer papers, and flung them out the window. Take them. Just leave me alone. The next morning, Mikhail and his crew were back at work, the transfers safely burned. Good morning, Captain. Mikhail cheered as he walked past Binghamton. Lovely day for a patrol, isn't it? Binghamton stared at them, his eyes twitching. He looked at a ladder leaning against the wall and veered wildly away from it. Superstitious. Me? Never. Chapter 8. The New Caledonia Payroll Caper. The final adventure took the crew to New Caledonia to pick up a new payroll. Parker, tasked with carrying the bag, managed to get himself knocked out in a French cafe. When he woke up, the money was gone. The only thing I saw was a girl's ankle, Parker moaned. She had a birthmark, a little brown heart. A girl with a heart on her ankle, Mikhail mused. That's our only lead. Find the girl, find the money. The crew scoured the streets of New Caledonia, lifting tablecloths and peeking under benches, much to the chagrin of the local ladies. They eventually spotted a shifty-looking man in a gray suit carrying the payroll bag, accompanied by a girl in a red dress. A high-speed chase through the city ensued, involving a vegetable cart, a runaway jeep, and an ancient ceremonial cannon. Binghamton, who had followed them to New Caledonia to catch them in the act, was right on their heels. I've got you this time, Mikhail. You've lost the payroll. You're finished. The chase ended at the town square. The crooks, cornered, hid the money bag inside the mouth of the old cannon. As the crew and Binghamton converged, a Japanese Zero, a rare straggler, spotted a commotion and began a strafing run. Take cover, Mikhail shouted. Parker, in a moment of frantic bravery, grabbed a torch and lit the fuse of the ancient cannon. Boom! The cannon roared. It didn't fire a ball, but it did fire something much more valuable. The strafing plane, startled by the explosion, peeled away. Meanwhile, the town square was suddenly filled with a blizzard of green paper. It's raining money! Gruber screamed. Binghamton stood in the center of the square as $100 bills fluttered down like snow, sticking to his damp uniform. 42,365. Parker began to count, picking a bill off Binghamton's nose. I wasn't worried for a second, Captain, Mikhail said, leaning against a cannon. Just another day of protecting the Navy's interests. Binghamton looked at the money, then at Mikhail, then up at the sky. He didn't scream. He didn't shout. He simply sat down on the ground and began to count the bills stuck to his legs. 1, 2, 3. The pirates of the PT, 73, stood around their captain, the sun setting behind them over the Pacific. They were scoundrels, they were thieves, and they were the biggest headache in the Seventh Fleet. But as long as the war lasted, they were the kings of Taratupa. And somewhere in the distance, Sidney the alligator smiled. The end. The Chronicles of Taratupa, of Captains, Cutthroats, and Alligators. Chapter 1. The Garter Belt Crisis and the Iron Pants Threat. The South Pacific sun beat down on Taratupa Island with the relentless intensity of a drill sergeant, with a grudge. Inside the headquarters of the U.S. Naval Base, Captain Wallace B. Binghamton, known to his men, though never to his face, as Old Lee Bottom, was reaching a breaking point that had nothing to do with the Imperial Japanese, Navy, and everything to do with hosiery. Wow, 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 wow. Binghamton sputtered, his face turning a shade of purple that rivaled the tropical sunset. He glared at Lieutenant Elroy Carpenter, his sycophantic shadow. Garter belts, Carpenter. You are the supply officer here. If the nurses need garter belts, you snap to it. Shake a leg. Oh, you know what I mean. Binghamton slammed a stack of papers onto his desk. To any other officer, the war was about strategy, logistics, and courage. To Binghamton, it was a never-ending parade of clogged sinks, missing nylon, and the constant threat of his career sinking faster than a torpedo tanker. "Everything is on my shoulders," he moaned, clutching his stomach. And now this, Carpenter, read that message again. Carpenter, adjusting his glasses with nervous twitch, cleared his throat. "Sir, it's from a pal of mine at Comfleet. Admiral Rafferty is arriving today on a sneak inspection." The color drained from Binghamton's face. "Iron Pants Rafferty? Here? Today?" He looked around his office as if the Admiral might emerge from the filing cabinet. "Do you realize what a mess this place is in? The petty officers' club sinks are backing up. The grass isn't cut. And McHale's crew is probably out there right now running some kind of illegal gambling ring or a moonshine distillery." Just then, the telephone rang. Binghamton snatched it up. "Yes, this is Captain Binghamton. Who did you expect to find in my office?" "Tokyo Rose." He listened for a second before his eyes bugged out. "The sinks are backing up? I'm the commanding officer here, not a plumber. Get out." He slammed the phone down and doubled over. "My stomach acid could start a car," he whimpered. He fumbled for a bottle of pills. "Sir, take it easy on those," Carpenter warned. "They give you terrible indigestion." "I don't care. I just don't care," Binghamton yelled. Then a slow, predatory grin spread across his face, a look that usually preceded a disaster for someone else. "Wait a minute. If I were sick, truly, terribly sick, I could appoint an acting base commander, and he would have to face the admirals. Wrath when he sees his pigsty." Carpenter blinked. "Sir, you mean?" "Exactly. Not you. Carpenter, you're a boob. I need someone the Admiral will hate even more than me. Someone who's very. Existence is an insult to the Navy. I'm appointing Quentin McHale." Chapter 2, The Happiest Illness in History. Lieutenant Commander Quentin McHale was currently enjoying the war from the comfort of a hammock on McHale's Island, a hidden enclave where the rules of the Navy were treated as polite suggestions. His crew, a motley collection of pirates and cutthroats, were busy perfecting a batch of corn mash whiskey when the summons arrived. When McHale reached the base hospital, he found Binghamton draped dramatically across a bed, moaning like a dying whale. "Oh, McHale, I'm in bad shape," Binghamton wheezed. "The medics don't know what it is. Tests. So many tests." "Gee, Captain, that's tough," McHale said, his eyes twinkling with suspicion. "I have to appoint an acting base commander," Binghamton said, suppressing a jubilant chuckle. "McHale, it's you, and Ensign Parker here will be your executive officer." Ensign Charles Parker, a man whose relationship with gravity was tenuous at best, nearly fell over his own feet. "Me? Executive officer? Oh, boy, you won't regret this, Captain." "I know I won't," Binghamton whispered as the pair left. As soon as the door clicked shut, he sat bolt upright. "Carpenter, it's working, with McHale and his band of gypsies in charge. They'll turn this base into a Roman orgy. Rafferty will hang them from the highest yardarm." Back at headquarters, the new command team took over. McHale sat behind a mahogany desk, looking like a fish out of water, while Parker began answering the phones with the enthusiasm of a puppy on caffeine. "Acting Base Commander McHale's office. Parker here. The garter belts?" "Yes, ma'am. We found them. Sending them over by PT boat immediately." Parker beamed. "Skip, we're really cooking now." Meanwhile, the crew of the 73, Gruber, Christie, Virgil, and the rest decided to celebrate their promotion by throwing a little shindig. Within hours, the base was transformed. Hula girls appeared from the local village. A band started playing swing music, and the smell of roasting pig wafted through the air. "Full speed ahead, boys." McHale shouted, unaware that a jeep was currently kicking up dust at the airfield. Inside that jeep sat Admiral Iron Pants Rafferty, a man whose face appeared to be carved out of granite, and whose sense of humor had been surgically removed in 1922. Chapter 3, The Admiral and the Hula Trap. Binghamton, dressed in his pajamas and robe, watched from the hospital window as Rafferty's jeep pulled up to the headquarters. "Here we go, Carpenter. The hammer is about to fall." Rafferty stepped out of the jeep and was immediately greeted by the sound of a ukulele. He walked into the office to find Ensign Parker, wearing a floral lei over his uniform and trying to teach a hula girl how to use a typewriter. "Welcome ashore, Admiral," Parker chirped, then froze as he realized who was standing there. Admiral, sir, presenting Acting Base Commander McHale." McHale stepped forward, tried to look professional while hiding a drink behind his back. "Admiral Rafferty, sir. We weren't expecting you so soon." "I can see that," Rafferty growled, his eyes narrowing. "What is the meaning of this? Carnival?" Binghamton suddenly recovered and came running into the office, followed by Carpenter. "Admiral, thank goodness you're here. I heard the noise from my sickbed. It's disgraceful." "Disgraceful? They got hula girls in the bomb shelter." McHale blinked. "Hula girls? Captain, you must be delirious from the fever." "Don't you delirious me. I saw them," Binghamton shouted. He dragged Rafferty toward the air raid shelter. "Look for yourself, Admiral. Open the door." Rafferty threw the door open. It was empty, not a grass skirt in sight. "Binghamton," Rafferty said, his voice dangerously low, "there is nothing here but dirt and cobwebs." But they were here. I swear it." Binghamton sputtered. He ran to the base laundry. "The laundry? They're in the laundry." He burst through the doors, only to find the crew of the 73 diligently washing socks. Admiral Rafferty stared at Binghamton. "Captain, I was told you were ill. It seems you are suffering from more than just a stomach ache. Hallucinations? Incoherence? Perhaps you've been in the sun too long." "No, sir. Back to bed, Captain. That is an order." Rafferty turned to McHale. "Commander, I'll continue my inspection later. At least you seem to have the laundry in order." As Rafferty walked away, McHale leaned toward a red-faced Binghamton. "Tough luck. Captain, maybe it's the high blood pressure. You should try the fish. It's very calming." Chapter 4, The Sultan of Mirani and the Chicken Greeting. Just as the base began to settle, a new crisis arrived in the form of a diplomatic mission. The Sultan of Mirani, a key ally whose island was being threatened by the Japanese, was arriving with his 3 beautiful daughters. "This is my chance to shine," Binghamton declared, now fully recovered and back in uniform. "We must impress the Sultan. McHale, I want you and your riffraff out on a recon mission to Aku Aku. I don't want you anywhere near the Sultan." "But, sir," McHale protested, "Aku Aku is a deserted strip of sand. There's nothing there but seagulls." "Exactly. Go." However, fate had other plans. The Sultan's plane developed engine trouble and was forced down near the very island where McHale was patrolling. The PT-73 arrived just in time to rescue the royal party. The Sultan, a man of immense dignity, stepped onto the deck of the PT-73. "I am Kareem. Are these men to be trusted?" "Absolutely, Your Highness," McHale said, bowing. Suddenly, Happy, one of the crewmen, spotted the Sultan's daughters. "Wowie, wow, wow, wow," he exclaimed, doing a little dance. "Like a chicken." The Sultan froze. What did he say? It's a ceremonial greeting in our country, sir." McHale scrambled. "It means—" "Oh!" Exalted One, your presence is like the dawn." "Like a chicken," the Sultan mused. "Interesting." When they reached Teratupa, Binghamton was waiting on the dock, fuming. He was even more furious when the Sultan insisted that McHale and his crew attend the state dinner. The dinner was a comedy of errors. Binghamton, desperate to reclaim his status, tried to smoke a hookah with the Sultan. Smooth, he coughed, his eyes watering as he inhaled enough smoke to power a steam engine. Very smooth. Meanwhile, Ensign Parker had been tricked into a date with one of the princesses, which involved him sneaking into the royal quarters. When Binghamton discovered a princess who looked suspiciously like a sailor in a veil, he pounced. Aha! An imposter. Binghamton yelled, ripping the veil off a dancer. Captain, the Sultan roared, that is my daughter. No, sir, look, it's one of McHale's men. It's... Oh! Binghamton stared at the very real, very angry princess. Your unpardonable behavior will be reported to the State Department, the Sultan declared. Storming out, Binghamton stood alone in the dining hall, holding a discarded veil. Why me, he whispered. Why is it always me? Chapter 5, Laughing Gas and the Fitness of Ensign Parker. Binghamton's vendetta reached a new peak when he decided to convene a fitness board to have Ensign Parker removed from the Navy. One look at this goofball's record, and they'll break him down to seaman second class. Binghamton cackled. McHale knew he had to act. He came up with a plan involving the base dentist's supply of nitrous oxide, laughing gas. If we can get Binghamton in a happy mood, he'll cancel the hearing, McHale told the crew. They rigged a tank of the gas to the ventilation system of Binghamton's office. As the captain began reviewing Parker's crimes, the gas started to leak in. Within minutes, Binghamton was leaning back in his chair, giggling uncontrollably. And then Parker torpedoed the garbage scow. He shrieked with laughter. It's a riot. He's a riot. Chucky Wucky is a riot. So, sir, McHale said, leaning through the window, about that fitness board? Cancel it. Cancel everything. I love everyone. I love you, McHale. I love the Nips. No, wait. I don't love the Nips, but they're very funny. However, the gas wore off just as Admiral Shoemaker, the head of the fitness board, arrived. Binghamton, now grumpy and suffering from a gas-induced headache, pointed a finger at Parker. There he is, the most incompetent officer in the Pacific. Just then, an air raid siren wailed. A Japanese bomber had slipped through the radar. While everyone scrambled for cover, Parker, still dazed and confused, wandered out into the middle of the airfield. He tripped over a machine gun mount, accidentally pulling the trigger. The bullets caught the Japanese bomber right in the fuel tank. The plane exploded in a spectacular fireball. Admiral Shoemaker stared in awe. Magnificent! The man stood laughing in the face of death. He didn't even aim. That's combat nerves. Of steel. But, Binghamton stuttered. Captain, I think the only fitness board we need is one for you, Shoemaker said. Ensign Parker is a hero. Parker, realizing what he'd done, promptly fainted into McHale's arms. Chapter 6, The Ghost of PT-13. The crew of the 73 was always looking for a way to get out of work. But things took a dark turn when a rumor spread that their boat was actually the PT-13, a vessel cursed by a string of tragic accidents. Binghamton, hearing of the crew's superstition, decided to use it against them. He fabricated a report claiming that the PT-13 had lost 3 crews to mysterious explosions. They'll be begging for transfers to the front lines. Binghamton gloated. The crew was terrified. They saw ghosts in the rigging and heard spectral voices in the engine room. But McHale soon figured out the trick. 2 can play at the ghost game, McHale grinned. That night, as Binghamton sat in his office gloating over the transfer papers he'd forced the crew to sign, the lights began to flicker. A low, moaning sound filled the room. Wally Binghamton. A voice echoed. Who's there? Binghamton squeaked, grabbing a heavy paperweight. 3 figures draped in white sheets emerged from the shadows. We are the ghosts of the PT-13. We've come for your soul, Wally. Get away. It's against regulations to haunt a superior officer, Binghamton screamed. The transfers, Wally. Give us the transfers or we'll take you back to the big PT boat in the sky. Binghamton fumbled with his desk drawer and threw the papers at the ghosts. Take them. Just leave me alone. The ghosts vanished. The next morning, McHale walked into the office, looking remarkably alive. Morning, Captain. Glad to see you're feeling better. I see you decided to cancel our transfers. Binghamton, dark circles under his eyes, just whimpered. Chapter 7. The Great Payroll Caper and Sidney the Alligator. The final act of the Taratupa Chronicles took place in New Caledonia. Binghamton had entrusted the base payroll, $62,000 in small, unmarked bills, to Ensign Parker, hoping the poor boy would lose it, so he could finally court-martial the whole crew. And lose it he did. Parker was mugged by a group of local thugs, and the money vanished. I saw her ankle, Skip. Parker cried back at the boat. A girl with a heart-shaped birthmark on her right ankle. She was with them. The search for the girl with a heart-shaped ankle became the crew's primary mission. They spent hours in the bars and cafes of New Caledonia, lifting the tablecloths of unsuspecting ladies. Pardon me, ma'am, I'm looking for a stolen Navy table, Gruber would say, diving under a skirt while the lady screamed and hit him with a handbag. Meanwhile, back on the island, a new player entered the game, Sidney. Sidney was a 6-foot alligator that the crew had adopted as a mascot. Unbeknownst to them, Sidney had found a discarded payroll bag in the swamp. When McHale and the crew returned to Taratupa, defeated and ready for jail, they found Sidney waiting in McHale's shack. Skip, look, Parker yelled. Sidney's got a wallet in his mouth. It's Captain Binghamton's ID card. Binghamton had tried to set a personal trap for the crew using a wallet filled with $900 of his own. Money, but Sidney had intercepted the bait. You're all under arrest. Binghamton shouted, arriving with a squad of MPs. Theft of $900. I marked the bills. But, sir, the alligator took it. McHale protested. An alligator? Do you think I'm a fool? Take them to the court-martial. The trial was a circus. Parker acted as his own defense attorney, arguing that Sidney had an unhappy childhood and was driven to crime by mother's peanut butter. Sandwiches. Just as the judge was about to pass sentence, McHale and the crew burst into the courtroom, dragging a very reluctant Sidney on a leash. Exhibit A, Your Honor, McHale shouted. Sidney hissed and opened his mouth, dropping the payroll bag and Binghamton's wallet right onto the judge's desk. My money! Carpenter, Binghamton's aide, cried out. The captain marked my back pay to trap McHale. The judge looked at Binghamton. So, you used government funds and personal entrapment to frame your officers, Captain? It was for the good of the Navy. Binghamton wailed. The charges were dropped, but the chaos wasn't over. In a final attempt to hide the evidence of their celebration, which involved several bottles of stolen champagne, the crew stashed the remaining payroll money inside an old ceremonial cannon. As Binghamton stood on the dock, screaming at the 73 as it pulled away, a Japanese scout plane appeared overhead. Fire the cannon, McHale ordered. They lit the fuse. Instead of a shell, the cannon let out a massive boom and showered the entire dock and Captain Binghamton with $62,000 in small, crisp bills. As the money rained down like green snow, Binghamton stood paralyzed, a $20 bill sticking to his forehead. Why me? He sobbed as the PT-73 disappeared into the sunset, the crew cheering, and Sidney the alligator sunning himself on the bow. Why is it always me? The end. The Pirates of Taratupa, a South Pacific farce. Chapter 1. The Ulcer and the Admiral. The sun over Taratupa did not so much shine as it did prosecute. It was a thick, humid heat that turned uniforms into wet rags and tempers into short fuses. In the center of this tropical purgatory sat Captain Wallace B. Binghamton, known to his men as Old. Lead bottom, staring at a requisition form that would have baffled his Zen master. "Wow!" Binghamton whispered, his voice trembling. "Wow, wow, wow. Garter belts." He looked up at Lieutenant Elroy Carpenter, his faithful, if somewhat dim-witted, shadow. "Carpenter, you are the supply officer. If the nurses need garter belts, you snap to it. Shake a leg. Oh, you know what I mean." Binghamton slammed his fist onto his desk, which rattled the various indigestion tablets he consumed like candy. Being the commanding officer of a remote naval base was supposed to be a stepping stone to a rear. Admiral Star. Instead, it was a daily battle against clog sinks, petty officer brawls, and the thorn in his side, Lieutenant Commander Quentin McHale. The telephone shrieked. Binghamton snatched it up. "Yes, this is Captain Binghamton. Who did you expect? Tokyo Rose? The sinks are backing up again. I'm the commanding officer, not a plumber." He slammed the phone down and turned to Carpenter, his eyes bulging. "I have just received word. Admiral Iron Pants Rafferty is arriving today on a sneak inspection." Carpenter gasped, clutching his clipboard. "Iron Pants? But, sir, the base. It's a mess. The Petty Officers Club looks like a shipwreck. And McHale's men are probably running a floating gambling den as we speak." Binghamton clutched his stomach. "My acid could start a car, Carpenter. I can't face Rafferty. If he sees this place, my career is finished. But wait." A slow, devious smile spread across his face, a sight that usually signaled impending doom for someone else. "If I were sick, terribly, medically incapacitated, I would have to appoint an acting base commander, and who better to take the fall for this disaster than the man responsible for it?" "Not Julian, sir?" Carpenter asked. "No, you ninny. McHale, with McHale and his cutthroats in charge. They'll run wild. They'll destroy themselves right in front of the Admiral. It's brilliant. Carpenter, call the medic. I'm dying. I'm practically in the grave." Binghamton collapsed onto his sofa with the dramatic flair of a silent film star. Within the hour, Commander McHale was summoned to the deathbed. Chapter 2. The Inmates Run the Asylum. Quentin McHale entered the infirmary looking exactly like what he was, a man who spent more time in a grass hut than a formal mess hall. He was followed by Ensign Charles Parker, a man whose primary contribution to the war effort was a perpetual state of nervous exhaustion. "Oh, McHale," Binghamton groaned, clutching a hot water bottle. "The tests, they're bad. I'm in bad shape. I'm appointing you acting base commander." McHale blinked. "Me, sir? Come on." "Captain, you must be kidding. I'm a saltwater skipper. I'd be no good behind a desk." "It's an order," Binghamton barked, then immediately reverted to a weak whimper. "And Parker, he'll be your executive officer. Go, take command, this minute." As McHale and Parker left, Binghamton sat up, his illness vanishing instantly. "He fell for it, Carpenter. This is going to be the happiest illness of my life." However, McHale was not a man to let a little thing like regulations get in the way of a good time. As soon as he sat in the big chair, the base transformed. The sinks remained clogged. But the Petty Officers Club was suddenly serving something that smelled suspiciously like corn. Liquor. "Chief," McHale shouted to his radio man, "what do we have on the garter belt situation?" "Found him, Skip," Chief Bell replied. "Send him over to the nurse's quarters right now." Meanwhile, the crew of the PT 73, Gruber, Virgil, Happy, and Willie decided that an acting commander deserved an acting party. They organized a hula shindig in the air raid shelter, complete with local dancers and enough black market supplies to stock a small country. "McHale's the skipper now," Gruber shouted, waving a bottle. Orders are full speed ahead. But the festivities were cut short by the roar of an airplane engine. Admiral Rafferty had arrived. Chapter 3, The Ghost in the Air Raid Shelter. Admiral Iron Pants. Rafferty was a man who believed that a crease in a trouser was as important as a victory at sea. When he stepped off his plane, he was met by a sweating, stammering Ensign Parker. Acting Executive, Officer Parker, your command, sir. Parker squeaked, his hand trembling so hard his salute looked like he was waving at a fly. Where's Binghamton? Rafferty growled. In the hospital, sir. Very sick. Hallucinations. He thinks he sees hula girls everywhere. Binghamton, meanwhile, was lurking in the bushes in a borrowed seaman's uniform. Desperate to catch McHale in the act of debauchery, he burst into the Admiral's path, pointing wildly at the laundry shack. Admiral, you got to see the air raid shelter. There are hula girls. Orgy. Total chaos. Rafferty looked at the man in the rumpled sailor suit. Binghamton, what are you doing out of bed? And why are you dressed like a deckhand? It's a disguise, sir, to catch the pirates. McHale, sensing the danger, had already moved the girls into the laundry. When Rafferty inspected the air raid shelter, he found nothing but a group of sailors holding a fire drill with a suspicious amount of enthusiasm. Girls? Rafferty turned to Binghamton. Captain, I think the medics were right. You're suffering from combat fatigue, hallucinations. Get back to the hospital, and that is an order. Binghamton was hauled away, screaming about hula girls, while McHale and Rafferty proceeded to inspect the base laundry. By the time they arrived, the girls were gone, and the only thing in the laundry was the smell of starch and McHale's innocent smile. Chapter 4, The Sultan of Marami. No sooner had the Rafferty crisis passed than a new one arrived in the form of the Sultan of Marami. The Sultan was a man of immense wealth, 3 beautiful daughters, and a very short temper regarding the dignity of his family. Binghamton, desperate to regain favor, tried to isolate McHale's crew. I want the 73 boat out on a recon mission to Aku Aku, he ordered. Get them away from the Sultan. But destiny, or perhaps just McHale's luck, intervened. The Sultan's plane developed engine trouble near McHale's position. The PT-73 swept in for a rescue. Greetings, Your Highness, McHale said, bowing. I am Commander McHale. We are here to serve you. The Sultan was impressed, especially when McHale let him take the wheel of the PT boat. A most amusing advertisement, the Sultan declared as he nearly ran the boat into a reef. Back at the base, Binghamton was forced to host a dinner for the royal family. McHale's crew, restricted to the base, decided they weren't going to miss the party. Gruber convinced one of the princesses to sneak out for a boat ride, leaving a void at the dinner table. To cover the absence, McHale's men did what any logical sailors would do. They put on grass skirts and veils. The dinner was a disaster of epic proportions. Binghamton, suspicious of the princess's sudden growth of chest hair and deep voices, began pulling at veils. I knew it, Binghamton screamed, unmasking a very hairy Virgil. Imposters, phony Balinese bunnies. The Sultan stood up, his face purple. Captain, your unpardonable behavior will be reported to Washington. You have insulted my daughters. As the Sultan stormed out, Binghamton was left holding a handful of fake silk, once again looking like a man who had finally lost his grip on reality. Chapter 5, The Laughing Gas Defense. The final straw for Binghamton came when Ensign Parker accidentally ran over the captain with the PT-73 during a botched docking maneuver. I'm convening a fitness board. Binghamton roared from his soaking wet uniform. Parker is finished. Reduced to seaman's second class. The crew of the 73 knew they had to act. They needed Binghamton in a good mood, a state of being that hadn't occurred since the armistice of 1918. Laughing gas, McHale suggested. Nitrous oxide from the dentist's office. If he's giggling, he can't sign a court-martial. They rigged a tank of the gas to the ventilation of Binghamton's office. As the fitness board began, the room filled with the sweet, invisible mist. Binghamton, who had been mid-rant about Parker's incompetence, suddenly stopped. A giggle escaped him, then a snort. Within minutes, the captain was rolling on the floor, calling McHale Bingy Winky and hugging Parker. "You're a barrel of fun, Chucky Wucky." Binghamton shrieked, tears of laughter streaming down his face. "Cancel the board. Let's go swimming." But the gas worked too well. When Admiral Shoemaker arrived to oversee the board, he found the captain dancing on a desk and wearing a wastebasket as a hat. Just then, an actual Japanese air raid began. Parker, still slightly giddy from the gas, stumbled to a machine gun. While laughing hysterically, he accidentally tripped. The gun went off, and he miraculously shot down a Japanese Zero. "Magnificent," Shoemaker declared. "A man who laughs in the face of death. Binghamton, you were wrong about this lad. He's a hero." Binghamton, the gas finally wearing off, could only watch in horror as Parker was awarded a commendation for the very behavior that should have gotten him kicked out of the Navy. Chapter 6, The Jinx of PT-13. In a desperate bid to scare the crew into transferring, Binghamton dug up an old record. The 73 boat, he told them, was originally commissioned as PT-13. A Jinx boat, 2 crews drowned, blown up. It's a floating. Jonah. He even had the hull repainted with the number 13. The crew, superstitious to a fault, was terrified. "We're living on borrowed time, Skip." Happy cried. McHale knew it was a trick. "If he wants a ghost ship," McHale whispered to his men, "we'll give him a ghost ship." That night, the base was haunted. Moving lights, eerie moans, and ghosts in white sheets, mostly Parker in a laundry bag, terrorized Binghamton. "I'm a superior officer." Binghamton screamed at a floating sheet. "You can't haunt me. It's against regulations." The ghosts demanded the transfer papers. Terrified and sleep-deprived, Binghamton handed them over, only to realize the next morning that he had been tricked by a group of sailors with a projector and some fishing line. Chapter 7, The Masquerade of New Caledonia. The climax of the crew's adventures took them to New Caledonia. While Binghamton was away at a conference, McHale was tasked with picking up the base payroll, $62,000 in small, unmarked bills. Parker was entrusted with the bag. Naturally, he lost it within 10 minutes of hitting the saloon road. "It was a girl, Skip," Parker wailed. "She had a birthmark on her ankle, a little brown heart. She knocked me out and took the dough." The crew began a frantic search for the girl with the heart-shaped ankle. They spent the afternoon lifting the hemlines of every lady in New Caledonia, nearly starting 3 separate diplomatic incidents. Meanwhile, a local alligator named Sidney had found the payroll bag and decided it made a lovely snack. Binghamton, returning early and suspecting foul play, followed the crew to a swampy fort. "I've got you now, McHale. Grand larceny. Where's the money?" "The alligator ate it, sir," McHale shouted. "An alligator? Do you think I'm a fool?" Just then, the girl with the heart-shaped ankle appeared. She was a local thief working with a gang of black marketeers. A firefight broke out near an old, rusty cannon. "Chuck, the cannon!" McHale yelled. "Fire it!" "But it doesn't work, Skip." "Light the fuse anyway." Parker lit the fuse. The cannon, which had been used by the thieves to hide the payroll after Sidney had dropped it, didn't fire a ball. Instead, it exploded in a cloud of green paper. $62,000 rained down over the swamp like confetti. Binghamton stood in the middle of the money storm, grabbing at floating $100 bills. 1, 2, 3. "See, Captain?" McHale said, brushing a 20 off his shoulder. The money's all there. Mostly. I'll get you for this, McHale. Binghamton screamed, even as he stuffed bills into his pockets. Why me? Why is it always me? As the sun set over the Pacific, the PT-73 headed back to Taratupa. They were broke, in trouble, and halfway to a court-martial, but as McHale looked at his crew, he knew one thing for certain. As long as old Lee Bottom was in charge, life would never be boring. Epilogue. Captain Binghamton eventually got his stripes back, mostly because nobody else wanted the job of commanding Taratupa. McHale and his pirates continued to run their tropical empire, and Sidney the alligator was reportedly seen wearing a very expensive pair of leather shoes, though how he bought them no one dared to ask. In the South Pacific, the war went on, but on one small island, the greatest battle was always the one fought between a captain's blood pressure and a commander's sense of humor. The Chronicles of Taratupa. See lawyers, Sultans and the Ghost of PT-13. Chapter 1. The Admiral and the Acid. The humidity on the island of Taratupa was thick enough to be sliced with a rusty bayonet. But for Captain Wallace B. Binghamton, affectionately known by his men as Old Lee Bottom, the atmosphere was heavy with something far worse than moisture. It was heavy with the impending arrival of Admiral Iron Pants Rafferty. Binghamton sat at his desk, his face a shade of purple that matched the local tropical flora. His stomach felt like a chemical plant undergoing a meltdown. Wow, 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 he muttered, staring at a supply manifest. Garter belts. I am the commanding officer of a frontline naval base, and I am being interrogated about garter belts for the nurses. He glared at his sycophantic aide, Lieutenant Elroy Carpenter. If the nurses need garter belts, Carpenter, you snap to it. Shake a leg. My shoulders are carrying the entire weight of the Pacific Theater. And now I hear Rafferty is coming on a sneak inspection. He's a terror, sir, Carpenter added helpfully, which only made Binghamton's eye twitch. I know he's a terror. He's Iron Pants. He'll see the Sinks backing up in the petty officers' club. He'll see McHale's men lounging in hammocks. He'll see me. Binghamton popped another indigestion pill. My stomach acid could start a car, Elroy. If I were sick, genuinely, horribly, incapacitatedly sick, I wouldn't have to face him. I could appoint an acting base commander to take the heat. A slow, devious smile spread across the captain's face. It was the smile of a man who had found a way to throw someone else under a very large, very armored bus. Not you? Carpenter, you're a boob. I need someone the Admiral will hate instantly. Someone who will run this base into the ground in 24 hours. You don't mean McHale, sir? Brilliant, Elroy. Absolutely brilliant. I'll play sick, appoint McHale, and let him and his cutthroats destroy themselves right in front of the Admiral. Quick, call the medic. I'm fading. I'm dying. Binghamton collapsed onto his sofa with the grace of a falling sack of potatoes. When Commander Quentin McHale arrived, he found the captain draped in a bathrobe, looking like a man who had just lost a fight with a giant squid. Oh, McHale, Binghamton moaned, his voice a frail whisper. I'm in bad shape. The medics, they don't know if I'll make it. I have to appoint an acting base. Commander, and since Carpenter here is, well, a boob, I'm appointing you. McHale, a man whose charm was as legendary as his ability to find illegal moonshine, looked skeptical. Me, Captain? I'm a saltwater skipper. I'm no good behind a desk. I insist. Binghamton wheezed. And to help you, I'm appointing Ensign Parker as your acting executive officer. Parker, a man who could trip over a flat surface, beamed. Oh, boy. Did you hear that, Skipper? Acting exec. You won't regret this, Captain. Binghamton watched him leave, a gleam of triumph in his eye. He's right, Elroy. I won't regret it, but they certainly will. Chapter 2. The Sultan's Gilded Gaze. while McHale tried to manage the chaotic base, which now involved Ensign Parker accidentally ordering 500 slingshots instead of garter belts, a new crisis emerged. The Sultan of Marami was arriving, along with his 3 daughters, the princesses. Binghamton recovered just enough to realize that hosting royalty might get him a commendation, attempted to take the reins back, but the admiral had already seen McHale's efficiency. The Sultan, a man of immense dignity and an even larger temper, arrived on the PT-73 after his own plane suffered engine trouble. "Greetings, O exalted ruler," Binghamton proclaimed, bowing so low his medals clinked against the dock. The Sultan ignored him, looking instead at McHale. "This commander, he is a man of action. He allowed me to steer his vessel. It was most amusing." McHale grinned. "The Sultan has a natural hand for the wheel, Captain, though we didn't nearly hit a coral reef, a Japanese patrol boat, and a very confused whale." The tension rose when the Sultan revealed his priceless cargo, the princesses. The crew of the 73, a group of men who hadn't seen a woman in months, stared with wide eyes. Gruber, the crew's resident hustler, whispered, "Wowie, wow, wow." "Like a chicken," the Sultan barked, his hand going to the hilt of his jeweled sword. "The next man who debases the dignity of the princesses will answer to me." Binghamton saw an opportunity. "McHale, take your riffraff on a recon mission to Aku Aku. I will handle the royal dinner." But McHale's crew wasn't about to be sidelined. While Binghamton was busy trying to impress the Sultan with a dinner of canned spam disguised as cordon bleu, the crew had other plans. Gruber had managed to set up a date with Princess Siri, convinced that his Brooklyn charm was a universal language. The disaster culminated at the royal dinner. Binghamton, suspicious of everything, convinced himself that one of the princesses was actually a member of McHale's crew in disguise, specifically Ensign Parker. "I've got you," Binghamton yelled, lunging across the table and grabbing a veil. "You phony Balinese bunny. You're under arrest, Parker." The veil came away to reveal the very real, very angry Princess Siri. The Sultan stood, his face a mass of fury. "Captain, your unpardonable behavior will be reported to the State Department. I will raid your Washington, you stupid infidel." As the Sultan stormed out, Binghamton stood holding a silk veil, staring at the admiral. "Why me?" he whimpered. "Why is it always me?" Chapter 3, The Laughing Gas Gambit. A week later, the feud reached a boiling point. Ensign Parker, in a moment of typical clumsiness, had managed to run over Captain Binghamton with a jeep. While the captain was unharmed, aside from his dignity, he saw his chance. A fitness board. Binghamton screamed from his hospital bed. "I'm convening a fitness board. I'll break Parker down to seaman second class, so fast it'll make his head spin." The crew of the 73 panicked. Parker was their bumbling heart. They couldn't let old Lead Bottom railroad him. "We need to jolly him up," McHale suggested. "Get him in a mood where he'll forgive anything." Even an undertaker couldn't put a smile on that face. "Skip, happy," the cook grumbled. But McHale had seen the dentist's office. Specifically, a tank of nitrous oxide, laughing gas. The plan was simple. Spray the gas into Binghamton's office during the hearing. The execution, however, was pure Taratupa. "Captain, we brought you a gift," McHale announced, entering the office with a large bouquet of goldenrod, which Binghamton was allergic to, and cleaning crew, the rest of the 73 crew carrying a tank of gas. "What are you cutthroats doing?" Binghamton barked. "Landscaping? Spraying the shrubs." "Frangipani flies, sir," McHale shouted. "Invading the island. Breathe deeply, Captain. Protect your lungs." The pesticide hissed. A moment later, Binghamton's scowl began to soften. His eyes glazed over. A giggle, a high-pitched, terrifying giggle, escaped his lips. Chucky Wucky. Binghamton squealed, pointing at Ensign Parker. You torpedoed a garbage scow. That's a riot. The potato peels. They could have fooled anybody. Admiral Shoemaker, arriving to oversee the fitness board, walked into a scene of absolute madness. He found Captain Binghamton dancing on a table with a nurse, singing the old rugged cross while McHale's crew cheered. Binghamton, what in the name of the great white fleet is going on here? The Admiral roared. Oh, hello, Shoei. Binghamton giggled, trying to pin a medal on the Admiral's nose. Parker is magnificent. A brave lad. He stands in the face of death and laughs. Literally. Parker, caught in the middle of a Japanese air raid that happened at that exact moment, stood frozen in the open, accidentally shooting down an enemy bomber while trying to unstick a machine gun. The Admiral was impressed. A hero, anyone who stands laughing in the face of death like that was born to be an officer, dismissed the charges. As the gas wore off, Binghamton found himself alone in his office, his head throbbing, staring at a signed commendation for Parker. Why, me? He moaned, clutching his brow. Why is it always me? Chapter 4. The Ghost of PT-13. The peace didn't last. Binghamton had managed to trick the crew into signing transfer papers that would send them to the most dangerous sector of the Pacific. He kept the papers locked in his safe, gloating over his victory. They're gone, Elroy. Tomorrow they ship out. McHale knew they had to get those papers back. And he knew Binghamton's one weakness. He was incredibly superstitious. We make him think the 73 is jinxed, McHale told the men. Actually, we'll go on better. We'll make him think we're the ghosts of a lost crew. That night, the base was haunted. Strange noises echoed from the docks. The lights in Binghamton's shack flickered. A voice, hollow and eerie, drifted through his window. Wailalayi. Binghamton sat up in bed, his hair standing on end. Elroy, is that you? We've come for the transfers, Captain. The door creaked open. There, standing in the moonlight, were figures draped in white, glowing with an otherworldly light, mostly thanks to some stolen phosphorus paint. We are the ghosts of PT-13, the figure McHale boomed. We need the papers for our records. They run a tight cloud up there, Wally. Binghamton was beyond terror. He scrambled to his safe, threw the papers at the ghosts, and dived under his bed. Take them. Take anything. Just go back to the big PT boat in the sky. The next morning, Binghamton tried to explain the visitation to a visiting Commodore. Ghosts, Binghamton? The Commodore asked, looking concerned. Phosphorus ghosts asking for naval transfers? They were there. They were glowing. At that moment, McHale and his crew walked by, looking very much alive and holding their original assignments. Morning, Captain. McHale chirped. Hear you had some trouble with the wiring last night. Imagining things again. Binghamton looked at the Commodore, then at McHale, then at the empty safe. He let out a long, low wail. Why me? Chapter 5. The Romance of Commander Snookums. While the wars of rank continued, Gruber, the ultimate romantic, found himself in a bind. His girlfriend, Ginger, a showgirl from Brooklyn, had joined a USO tour and was arriving on Taratupa. The problem? Gruber had written to her claiming he was a lieutenant commander. If she sees me as a lowly swabby, I'm dead. Gruber cried. I'll be living at the Y until I'm 60. McHale, ever the softer for a scam, agreed to help. For 1 hour, Gruber would be the commander of PT-73, and McHale would be his ensign. The charade was elaborate. Gruber donned McHale's best uniform, complete with extra medals. When Ginger arrived, she was greeted with a full honor guard, the crew of the 73 trying not to laugh. Lester, I mean Commander. Ginger squealed, throwing her arms around him. As you were men, Gruber barked, his voice cracking slightly. Straighten up that line. Chest out, Parker. But fate, in the form of Commodore Norcross, intervened. The Commodore arrived unannounced to inspect the legendary McHale. "Commander McHale?" the Commodore asked, looking at Gruber. Yes, of course," Gruber stammered. "And this is my lowly ensign, McHale. He's a bit battle-weary. Imagines he's the skipper sometimes." McHale, playing along with gritted teeth, nodded. "Yes, sir. My mind was 1,000 miles away, plotting a torpedo run. Sir." The situation spiraled when a Japanese submarine surfaced nearby. The Commodore insisted on seeing Commander Gruber in action. "Take command, Commander," the Commodore shouted. Gruber stood at the wheel, looking like a deer in headlights. Fire one, fire two, fire all the ones." By a stroke of pure, unadulterated luck, the torpedoes, aimed wildly, struck the submarine's conning tower. It was a brilliant victory. "Smashing," the Commodore cheered. "Simply smashing. Thank heaven someone on this boat knows what they're doing." Binghamton arrived just in time to see the Commodore congratulating Gruber. "This is not McHale." Binghamton screamed. "This is Gruber. He's a pirate, a thief, a swabby." "Captain Binghamton," the Commodore sighed. "Are you well? First ghosts. Now you're claiming your best commander is a swabby named Gruber? These Americans are as nutty as a barge load of fruitcakes." As the Commodore walked away, Ginger kissed Gruber. "Oh, Lester, you're my hero, even if you are a liar." Chapter 6. The New Caledonia Payroll. The final straw for Binghamton was the base payroll. $62,000 in small, unmarked bills. "I'm sending McHale to New Caledonia to pick it up," Binghamton told Carpenter. "And I'm going to make sure they lose it. Then, I've got them for grand larceny." The crew of the 73 picked up the money, but on the way back to the boat, Ensign Parker managed to get himself knocked out by a mysterious figure in a gray suit. When he woke up, the money was gone. "The payroll," Parker wailed. "It's gone. All I remember is a girl's ankle with a heart-shaped birthmark." "A birthmark?" McHale asked. "That's our only clue?" The crew scoured the bars of New Caledonia, looking at ankles. It was a search that resulted in several black eyes and one very angry bartender. Meanwhile, Binghamton had arrived in New Caledonia to catch them in the act. He found the crew wandering the streets, looking at feet. "I've got you," Binghamton shouted. "Where's the money, McHale?" "We were robbed, Captain, by a guy in a gray suit and a girl with a heart birthmark." "A likely story. You're all under arrest." Just as Binghamton was about to haul them to the brig, a Japanese air raid struck. The crew dived for cover near an old, ornamental cannon in the town square. "We got to shoot back," Parker cried, grabbing a torch. "That cannon doesn't work, Parker," McHale yelled. "Yes, it does. All you do is light the fuse." Parker lit the fuse. The cannon roared, not with a shell, but with a rain of green paper. $62,000 showered down upon them like confetti. The thieves had stashed the payroll in the old cannon, thinking it was a safe hiding spot. Binghamton stood in the middle of the square, covered in $100 bills. He looked at the money, then at McHale, then at the sky. 42,365. He began to count, his voice breaking. 42,366. "I wasn't worried for a second, Captain," McHale grinned, picking a $20 bill off the captain's hat. "I knew it was in there all the time." Binghamton let out one final, soul-crushing sob that echoed across the Pacific. "Why me? Oh, why is it always me?" And as the PT-73 roared back toward Teratupa, the crew raised a toast to the Sultan, to the ghosts, to the alligator Sydney who had once eaten the captain's wallet, and most of all, to the fact that on Teratupa, the only thing more certain than the heat was a chaos. The end. The Pirates of Teratupa. The Unending Misadventures of McHale's Navy. Chapter 1. The Garter Belt Apocalypse. The South Pacific was a place of turquoise waters, swaying palms, and a humidity that could turn a crisp naval uniform into a soggy dishcloth in under 3 minutes. On the island of Taratupa, however, the primary climate was not tropical. It was hysterical. Captain Wallace B. Binghamton, known affectionately, and only behind his back, as Old Lead Bottom, stood in his office, clutching a handful of indigestion tablets as if they were pearls of wisdom. His face was the color of a ripe beet, and his blood pressure was currently high enough to power a small destroyer. "Wow, wow, wow, wow," Binghamton screamed, his voice reaching a pitch that made the local seagulls nervous. "Garter belts, Carpenter. You are the supply officer here. If the nurses need garter belts, then you snap to it. You shake a leg. You know what I mean." Lieutenant Elroy Carpenter, a man whose primary skill was being a sycophant with the spine of a jellyfish, trembled. "Sir, Don't sir me." Binghamton cut him off, slamming his hand onto a stack of paperwork. "Everything is on my shoulders. And now, I get a message from a pal at Comfleet. Admiral Rafferty, Iron Pants Rafferty, is arriving today on a sneak inspection. Do you realize what a mess this place is in? The Petty Officers Club has backed up sinks. The nurses are protesting for lingerie. And somewhere out there, Commander McHale is probably distilling moonshine out of coconut husks." The telephone rang. Binghamton snatched it up. "Hello. Yes, this is Captain Binghamton. Who did you expect to find in my office?" Tokyo rose. He listened for a second, his eye twitching. "The sinks are backing up. I'm the commanding officer, not a plumber. Fix it." He slammed the phone down and turned back to Carpenter. "My stomach acid could start a car. Elroy, if I could just get sick, really sick, then someone else would have to face the Admiral. Wait a minute.